Yo, 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 yo,
Yo,
yo,
what's
yo,
up?
yo, 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 what's up, what's
Hello.
up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what it do? What it do and who it be? You know who it is. It's us, three-fourths of the crew of Neon Night City Lights. But in reality, we're not here to do that game. We're doing something entirely different, which is actually going to be us just hanging out. We're going to play some Stellaris here. Well, in reality, me and Michelle here convinced our GM and by that, I mean we pestered him and harassed him until we said, come hang out with us while we play Stellaris. And you guys ask the questions about the game, and we'll answer them and be annoying. So that's what we're gonna do. We're here,
Yeah.
hanging out. I'm Young Foxy. I play Fox in the campaign, but today I'm just me. And I have two of my friends here with me who can go ahead and introduce themselves. Michelle first, and then Tate. Tell people who you are and who you play normally, what you do, and what we're doing today.
All right. Hi, I'm Michelle. Normally I'm here playing Lynx. I don't know, the Lynx Netrunner. What else does she do? The keep Foxy in line.
That's true. You do that
The
sometimes.
mom friend.
You are the mom friend.
Yes, the total mom friend.
You're the mom friend in like every campaign you're in, though. So it's like
I'm sorry, but it's what I know how to play best because that's what I
the
do.
mom friend?
it's because you're the mom friend.
Maybe.
Mitz is kind of the mom friend.
Yeah.
Mitz is the parental figure friend.
I mean, I feel like Z has that better though.
That's true. Okay,
Yeah,
fair,
like it's more like Mitz is not quite as
But- I guess that's kind of
in
biased though,
charge.
because Z was an actual mom. So like that's a little bit biased in that regard. In any case,
So
mom
so
arguments
Z is
aside,
the actual mom and Mitz is the mom friend.
exactly. But mom arguments aside,
yeah.
Tate, say hi.
Hi, my name's Tate Washburn. I'm usually the game maestro for this campaign. And yeah, I have some questions for these guys that we'll just like sort of intersperse or put in the slow parts of gameplay because I'm sure you guys want to know more about like, how they built these their characters, why they built them this way, the stories they wanted to tell, where they thought it was going to go, stuff like that.
How do you feel?
I
if
do
you
have the
ask
first
us-
question.
How do you feel if you ask us like
Hmm?
super important questions all day and we're just like, we just did it. Like we have like no deep answers at all. We're just like, it sounded cool, I guess.
I don't know. I think that that's still a valuable insight. Sometimes really fun characters are just, I don't know, I just threw something together. Wanted to see what was going on.
Solid,
Sometimes
solid,
you don't
solid.
plan stuff for a tabletop game,
I feel
honestly, and that's fine. Just go with it.
you. I feel you.
That's fair.
And
Oh,
actually,
Tate.
my first what?
I have a job for you specifically, Tate. By the way, because Michelle and I will
Oh,
be in
okay.
game, and since I won't have the stream overlay up on keeping up the Discord window and the
Mhm.
game. I need you to be on top of Twitch chat if anything comes in Twitch chat at all. Just
Yeah, I'm on it already.
Any questions? Cool. Just be aware of that. It's a pretty chill Sunday, so if nobody pops in and says anything, that's totally fine. We'll just hang out. But otherwise,
Mhm.
that's what we're doing. Yeah. So we got some Stellaris booted up. We randomly decided to make empires that are at least kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit based on our
Exactly the question I was gonna ask actually
Oh,
is, hey, how'd you do these empires and why?
Sure. Let's Michelle, you want to go first because you're first on the list of empires. So why don't you go ahead?
Sure. So I ended up making what is known as a machine empire. I mean, Lynx is an outrunner. So figured a machine empire would make sense. Otherwise it'd probably be like some kind of mammalian empire because Lynx and all of her family are named after, well, you know.
Various
Uh,
animals.
Yes.
Various mammals.
Exactly. But yeah, so Machine Empire, Lynx is kind of a lot like me. That was sort of basically on purpose, but also kind of it was an interest. Which
What? Putting part of yourself into the TTRPG character you built? Couldn't imagine it.
it's like it's like anywho. So but like I don't really play with a super pacifistic style, and like Lynx is definitely not a pacifist, so this is gonna be interesting because I have never figured out how to declare war before. I'm
You'll be
probably gonna have to
fine.
learn how to do that.
You'll be
Fuck.
fine.
It'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Everything will be fine.
That feeling when you're playing a character who is almost but not quite unlike you.
Exactly.
Like it's Michelle adjacent.
Mich- it's close to Michelle, but it's not really.
It's me, but if I actually seriously wanted to like, or what is it like you know those moments where it's like, what is it where the question is violence and the answer is yes, but like
Yes.
like when I hit the answer button, it's more of like okay, maybe I'll punch this person, and Lynx is just like, no, full on,
Yeah,
and we're gonna
maybe
punch
I'll
this
do it.
person.
But we're gonna hit them. That's real. I, on the other hand, decided to build what's called a criminal syndicate, obviously.
Oh no.
So I'm a mega
Hey,
corporation.
that fits
So
though.
yeah, my entire empire is focused around strength through trade. Through gathering different trade and agreements. And normal mega corporations, with anyone you have a commercial pact with, like you have a trade agreement with, you can put what's called a branch office on their empire, so you can kind of gather income from them. However, as a criminal syndicate, I can just do that to whoever I want without needing to have a pact with them. I can just pick someone's planet and go, boop, crime, and then there's crime on their planet. So that's how my empire works. It thankfully shouldn't affect links much.
Crime.
Yeah, but what if there was crime? It thankfully shouldn't affect links much because all her people are going to be robots, and robots don't do much crime, if you hadn't noticed.
Really? It's an interesting mechanic they've added in. Chat should know, or future people watching, that I, Tate Washburn, know basically nothing about how this game works. It's a space civilization, but with more bits in it, as far as I can tell.
Yes,
and
that's
what?
it. It's real-time space civ with a lot more shit to it. That's really it. That's.
I also never played Civilization. The closest I ever got to real-time strategy games is Age of Mythology, and it was almost entirely because I could get the god power to drop meteorites on people.
Nice.
Good enough reason as any.
I'm like, I could build an army, or I could use the cheat code for infinite god powers and just spam meteor.
Yep. What's really more fulfilling for me? In any case, hey Michelle, you want to worry about settings, or you want to just like go in? What do we got?
I think settings basically are the same as usual, right? Small 400 star, spiral 2 arms, unless you want a different one, elliptical ring.
I don't go fuck. Do whatever you want to do.
Spiral, 5 AI empires.
Already appreciating that they're putting in a little more sci-fi terms, is like galaxy shapes and. You guys didn't see the setup for the empires, but they really put a lot of like, hey, this is the nitty-gritty of sci-fi civilization.
Oh, dude, you're gonna see this game is just every sci-fi trope you can think of crammed into a game, and it's not subtle about it.
Great. So I accidentally change the galaxy size, and now I have to go reset some of the stuff. Do we want to put crisis strength at like 50% again?
It's up to you, honestly.
Crisis type, random, mid-game start year. Are we fine with 2300, 2400? You want me to lower that?
That's all fine.
Okay, cool. Scaling difficulty is off. AI aggressiveness is normal. Advanced number is off. Random, hyperlane density, blah blah blah. Guaranteed habitable worlds. Caravaneer xenocompatibility is off.
Fucking xenocompatibility. Fucking
yeah. So
Xenos.
this is a setting that we turn off because otherwise you are going to crash your game with a bajillion like new templates worth of like characters.
Yeah, basically you can genetically modify species in this game if they exist in your empire. And one thing you can do is eventually you can get good enough that you can basically modify species in your empire to be compatible with each other. Xenocompatibility is the thing. The trouble is that if you enable that, the AI empires will all inevitably creep towards doing it. So you end up with so many variations of different species in the galaxy that your game slows down.
Yep. Tech tradition cost. I have it at like 0.5%, at like 0.5 times. Do you want me to lower that any further, or
0.5
what?
0.5's fine. It's honestly too fast otherwise.
Got it. And then we have 5 AI empires, no advanced AI starts, 1 fallen empire, no marauder empires. I do not want to get killed by the Khan.
That's
like
fine.
5 minutes.
That's fine. No marauders. We'll play it your way. No marauders.
I mean, if you want, I could put 1, but like I'd rather not get murdered by the Khan and like.
I'm fine with that. I'm here for it. Also, for stream, you guys should know that we have it set up for a POV swap. So at any point in time, we can swap between looking at my screen or Michelle's.
Fair. All right. Are you ready?
I have never been more ready.
Please hit the ready button.
Let's do it.
Start.
We are loading in to Stellaris.
Yeah, like the beginning part is like super slow, so you know.
Oh yeah, the opening to the games is very, very much just like here, like okay, so we're set up to go.
Yep,
Awesome.
I hit
So
the
yeah,
start button.
You get a little bit of a blurb about your species, so you know like how your species works. You also pick an origin. So your origin kind of is like it's actually a pretty new mechanic, kind of like determines like how your species kind of like comes. It makes your origin a bit more specific on how they play. The origin I picked is syncretic evolution. So in addition to my main species, the Volks, these little fox people here, I also have here. I'll even here over a species tab. I have a separate species called the Aklar, who are these big, dumb, servile species. So my population is split between my normal species and them, who operate as chattel slaves.
Hmm.
It's all right. I'm gonna swap that up in a bit to get them a different.
I'm just saying, gonna judge the character Fox a little bit.
Listen,
He's
all right.
like, this is a necessary evil for a short period of time. Sure, Fox.
Listen,
Uh-huh.
all right,
Sure.
listen, all right, all right.
We agree with
The
you.
robot-
Sure,
The
totally.
robot army is just
Listen,
a temporary.
and for everyone
measure,
looking at
we're-
stream right now, you can all see I'm changing their slaves type from chattel
okay, I'm
slavery
sorry.
to indentured servitude. You can all see this, yes? You all see this happening, yes?
That's fair. That's several steps up. I'll accept that.
It's also because that way they can work different jobs and it's not as big of a drain on my empire. That's a different thing though.
No,
But yeah, so
Nah.
we're not here to talk about the mechanical things. We're trying to talk about the flavor thing.
listen, so yeah, you can go ahead and set your early research if you want to, Michelle. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on
Yep.
that.
I'm already done.
Well, my fault.
Let me know when you want me to unpause.
I was explaining the civil ethics of my empire. Excuse me. But yeah, Michelle, do you want to tell a stream what origin you went with?
Oh, right. I went with the machine intelligence. Oh, no. Sorry, the I think it was consolidated resources.
Yes. So go ahead and show the world your home planet. I put it on your.
Yeah. So I have a machine capital. It's a machine world. So like, basically they've completely terraformed their origin world into like a consolidated machine world. Everything has been mechanized and
like Michelle, go ahead and show them like your star system, like for your home planet. Like you guys will notice here, if I'll stop over to my view, my home star has resources all around it that I'm currently gathering, like like the energy over here and some research over here. Michelle's has none to represent that as the start of her species. Her machine species has strip mined the entire solar system and consolidated all of that to make her.
Yeah, see how all
her
these
single
planets are broken?
Yeah, so they've strip mined her entire planet to make it to basically to make her single planet a machine world. That's what her origin is.
It is like so it is like kind of super efficient, but also like,
Yes, it's definitely a little
Yeah.
All right, let me make sure I remember what I need to build here.
There's
Actually,
nothing else alive out there. It's fun.
I mean, if there was, there isn't now.
It's like there was, maybe. But yeah, as you can see also up here I have like kind of a lot of pluses to various items, right? So you'll see that I have like a crazy plus 42 to my energy credits, 49 to mineral, 11 to alloy. It's pretty high actually.
Yeah.
Basically, I start off pretty good, but I don't expect this lead to last very long.
Machine empires are incredibly strong early game if you can like rush yourself around and get super aggressive early or take up a lot of territory. But they fall off pretty hard like late game because other empires catch up. My empire by proxy will start off honestly a bit weaker than even some other empires in the game. But if I play it right, I should rapidly ramp up.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see.
This is the kind of long-term planning that I don't know. Seems like it's fun to do in tabletop, but I've never really got into it in like video game form.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'd just wing it.
Stellaris is the kind of game where I always tell people like, if you really dig into it, there are a bajillion ways you can learn to like super hyper optimize the way you play and like get like the perfect empire build that min maxes your use of certain things or whatever. But like, there's really no need to do that ever, because like
basically.
Just build an empire that like plays a fun role or like plays the game in a fun way you want to play and just play it that way. There's no need to try to min max. Also, I'm ready to unpause whenever you want.
Got it. And I will speed up to fastest.
Yes, let's go fastest speed.
Just let me know when you want me to pause.
You're good. A lot of the early game right now is so you get several different kinds of civilian ships. One of them are science ships. Science ships have to be crewed by a scientist leader. You get different leaders in Stellaris. You get governors, scientists, admirals, and generals. So you can recruit scientists. Let's see. Research speed, statecraft. Yes, Spark of Genius!
Oh, really?
Fox, you need to know that someone, specifically Corndog, has made you foxier.
God fucking fuck. Already?
Yep.
You'll pay for this.
And then ask the question, if you had an animal ear headband, what kind of ears would you wear?
Resource scan complete.
You'll pay for this next Core Hearts, Corndog. You specifically will pay for this next Core Hearts.
Oh no, I'm causing more player tension in various groups that I'm in. Oh no.
You mean
Why
you're being a good
do
GM?
I already have a thing?
You probably saw some aliens.
I did. Let me fix. Why are all these things?
Oh yeah. I should mention. So Michelle, you remember so Tate, the screen you're looking at for both of us is currently the tradition screen. These are different sort of like groups and or ways of thinking you can have your empire specialized in that give you different bonuses. And then they're basically trees of 5 upgrades you get from earning these resources called Unity. And when you get all 5 in a tree, they give you what's called an Ascension perk, which are ways to like, make your empire stronger.
Empty
I'm gonna
now?
explain. Give me a second. I'll explain it. So previously, those 7 things were filled out, and depending on what kind of empire you were, you had different options.
Mm-hmm.
Those days are dead. As of the new 3.1 update for Lem, any empire can now pick what traditions you want. So go ahead and pick the empire one, Michelle, and you can pick which trees you want to go into.
Oh.
Including some new ones, by the way.
Interesting.
Unyielding? Versatility?
Aw, yeah.
What is this?
Aw, yeah.
Excuse me?
So many new
Hybridity.
options.
Subterfuge,
I already know what I'm doing.
prosperity, expansion, domination. Oh, okay, those are the normal ones. Discovery. Fuck it, we take. You know. Okay, unyielding is interesting. I might take that right after. Versatility is also a good one. I'll start with discovery as usual, though.
Discovery is never a bad one to start off with.
Yeah. Also, I need my capital to have more jobs, so I need to go actually do that.
Oh yeah, same. Actually, I gotta build some districts. Yeah, basically,
Whoops.
you can build 2 kinds of things on your planets: districts and buildings. Districts usually just give certain kinds of like basic jobs that like can give you the basic resources, which like pops, actual groups of people can go sit on and work on. Buildings give you kind of like specialized production of certain specialized resources and stuff like that. So I'm gonna build. You know what? I'm gonna build an industrial district.
What is a simulation site? Oh, it's a hollow theater. But like.
Oh yeah. A lot of buildings you're used to will be renamed for you because you're a machine empire.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, I love how I have like a freaking bioreactor and I don't produce any food. What is this?
Yeah,
Hunters?
because well, the bioreactor you could use if you ever conquer another species and want to make them living livestock. They produce fuck tons of food.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just saying, if you want to have a civil code or whatever, then do that. You're playing the wrong game for it, though.
That's that's fair. That is.
They give you the option of having a civil code. I feel like that means that it's the right game for that.
I mean, yeah, it really depends. That's up to you.
That's true.
What's
You
the
can actually go
point
here to
in-
this policy thing and change that.
Oh, speaking of, yeah, I should
Okay.
policies. Let's
Orbital
see.
bombardment. I'll do selective because I do not like indiscriminate ones.
Indiscriminate.
Initial border policy.
Closed.
Purges
I'm just
are
making note
Allowed.
that The good choices don't mean anything if there's not also the option and consequences of bad choices. So I get
That's
it.
true.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be nice. Displacement
really?
only purges.
I did. Yeah, I changed that too. Also because I can't make I can't prohibit it because I am just self-conscious.
You're a robot. Your people literally don't care about whether or not you do war crimes.
They're kind of just
Yeah.
like. I got. Just like.
Oh, what do you mean war crimes? Huh.
What are war crimes?
An interesting concept.
There are wrong choices to make in war.
That are not just the losing ones?
Oh god,
Alright, let me
wait. That's actually the coolest thing. I actually gotta run a sci-fi like TTRPG where like the whole thing is like going out and like nation building. Like actually like peep this.
Mhm.
Like an off-roaders campaign where your whole thing is like going around like you're like the member of like some like Galactic Federation and your whole thing is like going across like the frontiers of space, meeting the other big galactic like factions and players in like a Stellaris campaign almost like that. And like trying
Okay.
to like do diplomacy with them and like get them to like join your federation or whatever. So you go to like the robot guys and you're just like, hey, so you don't need to recruit them, but by law of our federation, we need you to bring them in for war crimes. So you go to the robot guys, and they're like, so you guys have committed some war crimes, and the robots are like, by my estimation, the only crime in war will be defeat. And it's just like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck.
It's like, these robots are getting very Terminator very quickly.
It's like, hey guys, we got robot problems. You mean like iRobot problems or like Terminator problems? Definitely Terminator problems. Just
I don't know. Do you ever read that book? Sometimes the iRobot robots got a little close to Terminator.
Oh
for
yes,
my...
no, I have read the entirety of the
For
actual
comfort.
iRobot novel, and the
Yeah.
entire point is like, don't be rude to robots, cause.
Hey, you've made people at this point. Maybe
You've
you should
made
treat them
humans.
kind of nicely.
Also, forgive me, I'm grabbing my bottle opener. I forgot where I put it.
Okay.
Found it.
Do you want me to keep it paused then?
No, you can unpause. You're good.
Got it.
Mm.
You forget, Michelle. I'm a Stellaris master. I can play this game without ever pausing if I wanted to. Simply
Alright.
have my mental brainwaves control the game
Cool.
because I am that skilled.
Wow.
Damn,
Excellent.
already? That was fast.
Do research.
Planetary
Damn. All right.
exploitation
Administrative
forecast
capacity,
complete.
because administrative capacity is good. You, please research. You go. Ah, God damn it. Go do this. Do this.
Resource scan
Yeah, big
Okay,
part
so
of
while you
Stellaris.
guys are... Oh,
Go ahead.
no, you go.
Oh, just big part.
I was gonna say,
part of
while you
Stellaris
guys
is
are
that.
doing stuff,
Mhm.
we're gonna have to come up with a system here. You
got it.
finish.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like Stellaris is just like the kind of game where like most of it's just like, oh god, I gotta give a million orders right now. Pause. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Go ahead.
It's interesting that you guys like have to pause collectively, so it's very much like, hey, please pause so I can do orders.
Pause.
Yep. It's actually one of my favorite parts about the game that you can kind of just like give everyone a break to be like, hey, we're all just gonna stop. Everyone give some orders. Take a second. It's actually one thing I really want to do. And I've talked about this for a bit, I think, on stream before, but I want to get, since like now a bunch of us now have this game, and since we're all a bunch of fucking role players.
Yeah.
I'd love it if we got one day to do like a big multiplayer campaign. It had to be like a multi-part stream because you could never do a full campaign in one day. Let's do like a 12-hour stream. It never happened. But doing a thing where it's basically just like, hey, okay, everyone build an empire, like like an RP empire, focus on like a certain story they want told basically, and then you go out and you do like you start your play of the game, and of course there's a certain part of Stellaris where you can form a galactic community. It's the galactic UN basically.
Yeah.
And so in that, of course, you can like vote on certain motions and pass certain policies, stuff like that, and you get to actually vote on them and decide whether or not they pass. One thing I'd love to do is like actually have everyone be like doing this like live in like a Discord call. You can even like be like everyone's like off like on like their own like sort of separate channels, except like if you like join like a faction with somebody, you can like you can be like in a call with them. Anyway, the point being, like whenever you like the time comes to like vote on a policy in the galactic community, everyone pauses. You all join one Discord server, and two people actually go up and present the affirmative and negative case for why you should or shouldn't vote for this thing, and then everyone votes.
Do you ever play Diplomacy? It's like a old school kind of board game map. It's getting that sort of vibe and adding it to this game.
That is literally what I'm talking about. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I love Diplomacy.
I think the pausing is interesting considering it's so broad in that like you almost have to gentleman it.
Yep.
Like if you're in the middle of fighting with another player, it's like, hey, I need to pause. What are they like? No, I don't want you to, because then you get more orders for a more interesting thing. And I'm like, no, I have you on the ropes.
I mean,
No.
That's the thing is that like you can't like nothing moves when you have the game paused. You can just give orders. So like
yeah, but the
like,
speed and order in which you give orders could be a huge factor. And
I
if I'm
mean-
winning, I don't want to give you a chance to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I feel like, especially with the way this game is like done, you can win off the strength of like having the better military and playing it better and doing the better like movements and stuff. You're fine. Let's go ahead. But like, you don't need to necessarily treat it like, oh, I need to make like I have to win by you not having time to make the right choice.
It's
like,
true. That's true. I mean, yeah, it's still like I would allow that sort of thing because I'm like I don't care, but
yeah,
I'm sure someone who's kind of a dick about it would be like, no,
yeah, no.
I don't need to give a bunch of orders and you do, and I
have seen Stellaris tournaments, and there are rules like that where players get a certain number of pauses like per half hour. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you'd almost have to do that because like it's just a better way of like you need to come up with mechanics because the game doesn't have it for
I mean,
pausing in a competitive sense.
I tend to not mind because like with the speed I can play this game at, like just I can play this game pretty fast, but whenever I have more time to like pause and sit and think, that just is better for me. Like it just makes things better for me. So I'm never like, oh my gosh, no, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Like you know, I can just kind of.
You also got to think that the more people you have in a single game, probably pausing becomes more and more difficult.
Basically, yeah.
Things would start and stop much quicker.
We've gotta shake those hostiles.
Hello.
Boom. We built something.
Huh. I'll deal with that later, I suppose.
This tech had better
I
generate
would
some
like some
revenue.
more.
Technology acquired.
Fascinating. Acquisition successful. Great.
You did it. You acquired a thing. I'm so proud of you.
First contact. Make it so.
You're making the contact first? I'm so
Research.
proud of you.
New research.
Logical acquisition.
Automatic
Hmm.
survey, please. What are you doing?
Planetary exploitation
I would
forecast
like.
complete.
What the heck? Pause, please.
Go ahead and pause. That was fast.
Why am I building so much Unity so fast?
I'm actually also building it pretty fast.
Okay, pop assembly cost. Let's see.
You're probably
Um,
gonna get faster because you're robots, so you actually get things like Unity pretty fast.
That's true. Do I take
Hmm.
expansion or versatility? Versatile. Yes, please.
Excuse me. I don't know. Whatever you want. Live your life.
So-
First
Oh.
contact.
What's up? Hit me with.
There is an early question
Hit it.
that I think that both of y'all should think about. We don't need an answer right away. Of like, okay, so when you first made these characters you're playing, you made
Mhm.
Lynx and Fox. What was like the idea you started with, or was it just sort of let's see how this goes?
I actually can answer
Huh.
this one pretty easily.
Yeah.
So when I first built Fox, I
I'm unpausing, by the way.
yeah, you're fine. Again, it's kind of like when I told you when we were like kind of like when you kind of like asked us like what media is influencing like our thoughts going into this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you like I wanted like Boys in the Hood or like Paid in Full in Cyberpunk, and
Okay.
so I built a character with that in mind. Like I thought about the people that I saw in my neighborhood growing up and like the way like their
Mhm.
swagger, their demeanor, their persona, the way they carried themselves. And I said like, yeah, I think I want Fox to operate like this, So that's kind of how that one came down. That's how it came to be for me. But it was pretty simple, just like deciding on like who he was as a person and then building the character around that and the story around that. Leave that be.
Construction complete.
Okay. No, I find it interesting where like characters end up when you have an idea based on like a show
Yeah.
or like a movie or something. I think, say, the character I'm playing in your campaign, Wolf,
Mm-hmm.
very much was originally just, man, I love a dude who's real big and punches stuff. But like very quickly, as I looked into different mechanics and things, I'm like, no, actually, this could be kind of cool. It wasn't quite as specific as this kind of media.
Better generate
I
some
don't know.
revenue.
How about you, Michelle?
Construction complete.
Actually, interestingly enough, I guess you could say that my thing was more around, I guess like, so,
Planetary
so
exploitation
basically,
forecast
I guess it went like this. And I have to pause because I can't really.
You're fine. Go ahead. Take your time.
All right. So, so Chris had actually ended up like presenting his character idea first.
Mm-hmm.
And they started and like I guess like basically started like weaving a character storyline first around like hey would it'd be really cool if I guess if like if Fox had a character like me like
his
me
life.
as a person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay, so what? And I guess I started thinking about like, okay, like what would I be like if everything went to hell at like some young age? And I guess that's how
Mhm.
Lynx got born. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also if like Lynx had a big brother instead of a big sister.
And we kind of entered into
Yeah,
the
those
campaign.
seem like little details.
Yeah, and we kind of entered into the campaign with that idea of like, hey, we're really close personal friends already, like as a unit, and so like we are going to enter in this campaign with the idea of like our characters will be that,
Yeah, I think especially for your two characters, it ended up being this interesting dynamic that I don't see as much in a tabletop game. Where it's like, no, you already have a history. What is that like? Something I kind of want to do more, honestly, as a DM and a player.
Yeah, it's actually something I was going to talk about. And I think we had this chat in an org meeting or somewhere. We had this brief chat.
Yeah, I think it's fun to have it on stream, though.
Yeah, where I was saying like, I really love the idea of more tables having characters, not even like the whole party, but just like individual or pairs of characters that have established dynamics already. Like I'm all for a character romance being built at the table. That's wonderful. But give me two characters who are already married and have been married for a decade.
Anomaly found.
I think I saw that as a bit, but I really agree with it. Of like, hey, why are there so many dead spouses for like tabletop games and comics when actually having a divorced spouse is so much funnier.
Yeah.
We built something.
Of like, I'm doing this for her. I'm not taking you back, even if you save the city.
Yeah. Actually, my favorite thing. I love the idea of like a guy going like he's like just got divorced. He's like going to like his midlife crisis as like adventuring. He's like, nah, I'm still young. I've still got it. I'm gonna get back out there. Go slay some fucking dragons. Fuck her. That's my favorite thing. I love that as a concept.
Resource scan complete.
Michelle, I'm still getting tech too fast.
Built something.
Yeah, it's a little, it's a little creepy for me too, to be honest.
Hey, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Just believe. You're doing fine.
Is this an update thing, or do you think just you've never tried this combination before and you're surprised?
Well, for me, it's just a matter of like, I tried to not build the empire that like rushes up technology, and it's still kind of happening.
Mm.
Imagine the profit.
Mostly because I have the by virtue of having a second species to do all of my well, my basic work for me. My actual core species who are more intelligent can focus on, well, researching and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm gonna pause for a sec.
You're fine. Go ahead, take your time. I also would not mind a pause so I can pick my second tradition tree.
Definitely seems like the kind of game that if you can memorize the various different options, you can really streamline your path and process and all that.
That's usually how it happens, honestly. Like this patch is pretty new for me, so I'm still kind of figuring things out. But in the past, I used to have a pretty good set. Like there's a pretty good set of like mechanical traditions you did. I discovery or expansion first, then prosperity, and then like it was a pretty set like line you followed. But with this new set of things, like you can build a bunch of different things. It really depends. Do I want to do expansion, or do I want to do?
I don't remember what I was going to do. Right. There's an alien fleet.
Mercantile? Why not?
Get an alien fleet.
Yes, an alien fleet. That's a thing that's happening.
Oh yeah, I found the space whales already.
I also found the space whales. Are we next to each other again?
Maybe. It's certainly possible.
That happens a lot.
That's probably better for you than anything else, right? You don't have to worry about anybody else, going to war with you. Just me doing it.
Oh, great.
Everything will be far more personal.
Exactly.
Sure.
Michelle, have I ever declared war on you, Stellaris?
Yes.
That's true. I did actually do that one time. You're right. Never mind. I abandoned my previous position.
Oh, I guess the scientist died. Oh, that's not great.
I guess somebody got murked. My bad. Oops.
Oops. I'm like, what was I
Oopsie
thinking of doing?
doodle.
Right, more science
Oopsie
ships. Whoops.
doopsie. I made a bit of a fucky wucky and one of my leaders got murdered. Oops.
Nah.
It's like, whoopsie
My
daisy.
bad. Slight bit of a fucky wucky there, and one of my scientific leaders got murdered.
Look, man.
I found something.
All right.
Oh, also, Michelle, I'm gonna give you a bit of things that I've learned from some Stellaris tech.
Uh-huh.
Fuck gene clinics.
Oh, seriously? Why?
They're not useful as far as a job. Like the consumption of consumer goods into amenities and pop growth speed, it's not enough. It's not worth it.
Okay.
I used to swear by them, but I did the math on it. They're just not efficient enough.
Net.
Funny how it can feel rewarding, and yet it turns out mathematically it's just not good.
I mean, that's actually one of the best things about Stellaris is that like things can still be really fun to indulge in. Like one of the going back to the whole origins thing. One of the origins is because there's a whole mechanic where basically you can find dig sites, Michelle fucking loves them. Actually,
I love them.
I
I
actually
have
have one on
like
my
5
borders.
of them like right around me, and I'm like super happy right now.
Yeah, I got like 2
No.
or 3 actually, which I'm gonna get to soon. But the one origin, basically you begin with like a super special one on your home planet,
We built something.
which like you can just dig through, and like it's not like gives you like it doesn't give you like a whole like mechanical benefit at all, but there's a whole storyline behind it where you can kind of find out
Okay.
like the society that was on the planet before you were, and like you kind of learn the whole thing.
It's pretty cool, yeah. I usually do that one actually.
Actually, most of
'Cause-
Stellaris is built on that mechanic. So you see how we're sending out our science ships kind of like go out and survey and check out different systems. So occasionally they'll do this. They'll get what's called anomalies. And so they can basically research those things, and like they'll find certain weird things in space. And they can either just be like small things like, oh, hey, we found some more resources on this planet, or like we found some cool little thing, or it could even fail and like, you know, have bad things happen. But occasionally they'll lead to entire like fun storylines.
Anomaly found. Hey, can we monetize
Okay,
this?
you automatic surveying, I guess. You have nothing else to do.
And
What
yeah,
are
there's
you?
all kinds
What are
of
you
fun
doing?
stuff you can find
Automatic
from
survey, please.
from
You.
those
What are you
things.
doing? I paused because I have no clue what the
Oh,
heck I'm
fun
doing
fact,
right
yeah, one of the things for the patch changed how early you get automatic surveying as a tech. So you're welcome for that.
I mean, I like kept getting it
The
super
thing you
early because I
want.
always dove into whatchamacallits.
Oh yeah, you usually tend to build like tech focused empires. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I
that's
usually
not...
build tech first. I'm gonna build some more generator districts, maybe a nexus district, industrial. I'm running out of jobs, which is why I'm kind of like, oh
I'm
shoot.
actually also out of jobs. I should probably go ahead and get focused on getting some more of those going.
You build here.
Uh,
You build here, please. Thank you.
Another bleeding edge
What are you doing?
I guess what I'm
technology
noticing about Michelle's method of playing is that you can see both of your tabletop characters from the channel in this, of like techie, but also like I'm going to explore and see all the runes and the things that were left behind. Feels very Mitts.
That's true. I guess that makes sense actually.
Wow, we
Let me
really
pause.
hit this tech
I need to
out of
pause
the
for a sec
ballpark.
while I try to figure
It's
out what
funny
the
because
heck I'm
like
doing
that's
here.
always how Michelle plays Stellaris. Like always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not wrong.
Ooh, I got autocannons, dumber laser tech. Hell yeah.
You know, that's I guess an interesting question as well as I don't know, when you were making links, Michelle, you
Yeah.
ended up doing this character that's like you, but in a darker place. I don't know, how do you feel like your characters relate to each other across multiple games for both of you?
Huh. You know, that's a good question. Like,
I only have one on here, but I could even talk for a bit what you guys think if you need to.
Go ahead, feel free.
So like
Uh.
the two campaigns I'm really playing in is one at home and one on stream, and both of them are shifters, actually, just because I really like how like the race mechanically works and also like the flavor of it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're both like kind of polar opposite people.
Mhm.
It's interesting to see that they're similar and like, oh, it seems like I really like these melee fighters that just like rush in and ruin people's day. But when it comes
I think
personality wise,
it's
one is a dumb and a follower, and the other's paranoid and constantly making plans, and it's kind of fun to play both. I don't know. I think it
it's
depends
a
a lot on
little
the team.
yeah.
I can do that.
No, you're right. Like especially because like, okay, so Mitz was I guess more of a delve into finally like I guess seriously playing a spellcaster like character.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like Mitz has more of a open personality. She's more
Yeah.
right. While Lynx is a bit more paranoid, and that's kind of like a product of her upbringing, as it were.
Right.
I don't know. Like they're a lot alike, and that's it's a lot because of like they're basically a lot like me, right?
Yeah.
But like different aspects, I guess you could say. Like Mitz is very much the more like research, like ooh, I'm super incredibly like, you know, like I love researching new things, which is I guess a little less me, but you know that's her thing, right? Like she enjoys that.
Mm-hmm.
While Lynx is more of a oh god, I gotta keep all these people alive, kind of like
Yeah.
paranoid, kind of like the reason why she's into like you know research and all this stuff is because she's like I gotta make sure these people don't you know die horribly on me, I guess if that makes sense.
I guess that's true. I could easily see Mitz becoming more like Lynx if like traumatic things happen to her.
Yeah, true.
But
See
becoming
that too.
eventually like I have to be paranoid and learn more so I can protect people seems very much in line with her as a character.
That's fair. That is fair.
Real.
Resource scan complete.
Oh hey, I met someone. Char's
built
Compass.
Oh.
Caravan Coalition.
Should be
Interesting.
Oh, that's what you meant like caravaneers.
Yeah, but they like own a place. I can't just like take their shit, like you know, be
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh hey.
They sure do.
Resource scan complete.
Yeah, they always own a system. Yeah. I mean, you could theoretically attack them, I suppose, right?
We built something.
Don't want to. I don't know. It's like it's new for me because like aren't they normally like like you can still take their system, but like it doesn't really matter.
No, that you're thinking of the curators.
Ah, fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Construction
Excuse me? What the fuck?
Archaeological site. Pause. Pause.
Log updated.
Too many things. Too many things happening at once. I basically so basically what I did was I got a new not an ascension perk, but like a new like society management, like a tradition thing.
Mhm.
Then I
Yep.
also got this this archaeological dig site going through, and it's like, oh crap, let me continue. Yeah.
A lot of things
But
happen
yeah,
at one
I
time for
finished
you.
an archaeological site. That makes me
Congratulations.
happy,
Hey.
actually. Woo! I actually don't really care much about what actually happened there.
No.
So,
Hey,
but
sometimes
yeah,
gotta do
I
much.
will keep this I will have this person go fly all the way over here.
Boom.
All right.
But I guess for me to answer the question of like,
Yeah.
well, I tend to build characters that are kind of like
Technology
snapshots
discovered. Rad.
of like
Mhm.
they're snapshots of kind of like me in different points in time. Like
Okay.
Kai is very much like me in like late high school, like early, you know, like right before college. And Nari's kind of like
Mhm.
freshman year, like sophomore year of college me. Fox is kind of like a weird thing where he's not just a snapshot of me. He's almost like
Mhm.
if one of those snapshots of me grew up as that snapshot. So that's kind of how it became a thing for me, where like Fox was like, if that sort of younger, rough and tumble me that never really got a handle on himself grew up and never really, you know, never got a handle on himself.
Mhm.
And so for me, the sort of run through of all my characters tends to be their flaws. Like the thing that connects all my characters tends to be the ways they're imperfect.
Mhm. That makes sense, though. I think it makes a good character to say, okay, what are their weaknesses?
Sorry.
What do they fall short at? It's interesting to me that you sort of purposefully peel your characters off of like who you are, where I think that that's sort of something that happens on accident when I make a character.
Right.
Like I didn't. Warp is not remotely like me. The only thing he has in common is certain like emotional things of like, oh yeah, insecure about things he's not good at, or
Generate some revenue.
like down on himself about certain things or stuff like that. Mostly he is just this idea of like, yeah, this is how this kind of person would be.
Right.
But in the end, he ends up being still the kind of like snarky but thoughtful person I tend to be in games.
I feel that.
Anomaly found. Hey, can you
Interesting.
monetize this?
There's no good location to like cut things off.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about good choke points from my Empire too. I'm finding a couple, but I haven't found anybody
I'm gonna
yet.
take
as far
this
as
one.
other,
That's a good choke point.
I haven't found any other empires yet, so I haven't really figured out what choke points I should be focusing on. I'm mostly just expanding right now.
All right.
This is the flaw with this kind of map, it feels like, is spaces in 3D. I don't know how you actually choke off a planet
Well,
in 3D so effectively.
Fun
Things
fact.
are moving too. So it's
Fun
like,
fact. So you'll notice that there are these lines connecting all the different star systems. Those are the
Yeah.
hyperlane networks, which are how all ships get between planet systems. That wasn't a thing in early Stellaris. In early Stellaris, there were actually 3 different ways to you could make your empire get around hyperspace. There was the current way, which is hyperlanes, you know, this way. Another way was warp, where your ships just charged up and then warped to a certain system within their range, which was slower, but you could get further. And then there was the gateway system, where it was rather than having
Stargate.
yeah, basically you built gateways and systems, and your ship can move between them. And so previously there actually was a thing where it's like if you're playing hyperlane, then it's like yeah, you could actually like, you know, try to worry about choke points, and then someone who has like warp or gateway just like warps around, and you're like, oh well, fuck, that sucks. But they redid it.
They're like, it's interesting that you've been tactical about the placement of your civilization. Would be a shame if I just said, fuck that.
and
Basically.
there are still ways you can do that in some ways. One of the later technologies for your upgraded warp drives is the jump drive, which basically lets you do that.
Construction complete.
I pause while I grab another ascension perk.
You got it.
Cry about having so many ascension perks.
Hey, that's not a thing to be sad about. That's a thing to be happy about.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess, but also like, you know,
I'd like more.
nihilistic acquisition, enigmatic engineering, not something I don't want to raid. Grasp the void. Master nature. More
fun
more
over there.
more administrative stuff.
Never a bad idea.
It is not a bad idea. That is fair.
I need to find me some other aliens. I actually haven't been doing my usual strategy of like sending out a bajillion science ships. I only have 3 out right now.
Ah,
Let's fix
interesting.
Hmm.
Good to know. Sorry, some of this is.
You got
Do you want me to unpause or?
Yeah, whenever you're ready. I'm fine.
Got it.
Yeah, let's fix that. Let's get some science ships out. Also, if you want to slow down to just fast rather than fastest, I'm totally fine with that. If you feel like it's fastest is too much for you
Yeah,
right now.
let's just do fast then.
I'm totally fine with that.
Hmm.
Features. Consolidated resources. Produces a fuck ton. Is there anything else that I want? Not
What's
really.
the sort of supply to action pipeline here? Do you ever feel like you could easily just be getting resources and doing nothing else the whole time? Or is it actually pretty balanced?
It really depends. If you're playing the
Yeah.
game optimally, you don't ever want to be stockpiling too many resources. So, like, you can get to a point where it's like, I need to know what I'm spending this on. I basically just, I usually play it where it's like, if I ever feel like my economy is too comfortable, I should either be seeking to, like, make an aggressive expansion through war, or building up my economy through, like, bettering my planets, or, like, expanding to, like, more planets. Like, I'm currently working on colonizing another planet right now, so I'm going to have my second colony up.
Oh, which reminds me, I should do that too.
Yeah, get to it. Got to
Too
do
lazy
it.
to
Found something.
It's something in the strategy games I've seen and definitely heard from a lot of them is some of them don't balance that well. So it's good to hear that's like, no, you can't just get a fuck ton of resources and then do the thing. It's kind of a balancing act.
I mean, and there are certain things that will require you to just spend a lot of time, you know, getting resources. But even those things are usually things like you have to like work up towards. And so even with that, it's just like, oh, okay, well, how do I, like, that's for like the later game stuff where it's like, oh, I need to like figure out how to get to that point. All right, time for me to start finding some aliens. No, it's too many times, not enough aliens being
Anomaly
found.
found. Hey,
The part where I'm like, oh right, I can colonize so many places, but like I should actually probably figure out which specific places I want to colonize, and I'm like, oop, too late. Already hit colonize a bajillion times.
All right. Well, hey, listen, I also colonized a couple times, so you know.
All right, what's this person doing? Where are you? Oh, this over here. Okay. Give me a pause for a second. Show us your wares, please.
Oh, you got some
6 months of society research. Who is this person?
Damn, son, that's a lot. What do they want to offer you that for?
They want to offer 2,000 energy credits for 6 months of society research. Not right now. Can you get back to us later?
That's a good fucking deal, dude. I don't know. I mean, listen, you do you, baby, but
2,000 for 6 months of society research, though?
it's a lot of research. Listen, I'm just saying I would take the deal.
No. They were offering me 2,000 credits.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was like, no, because I have like 16K.
Oh, well then, yeah, no,
credits.
fuck that deal. It's not worth it. Yeah, no, that.
I was just
never
like,
mind.
no.
I thought you were saying
No,
the opposite.
actually. Yeah, that's like the opposite of a good deal.
Holy shit! What the hell?
You okay?
This planet I just colonized has 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 20 industrial districts.
Hey, look, it's
No.
Alderaan! It's Alderaan! Friendly! It's spelled differently, but it's Alderaan!
Better watch out for moons, right?
Sorry, I was just like, wait, excuse me?
I'm suddenly very very mad we don't have the Giga Engineering mod on.
Why? Because you can make the Death Star?
Yes, you can literally make the Death Star.
Alright, I better go
Yeah,
back.
so basically, so you can make a whole bunch of different like superstructures in this game state. Like obviously, you can make like a ring world, a giant juggernaut ship, Titan class ship, all kind of cool shit, planet busters, stuff like that. So someone, because this game is incredibly moddable, someone went above and beyond the Call of Duty, because of course they would, and made a mod that was like, hey, so what if you can just, you know, like every theoretical sci-fi like endpoint technology that could ever be possibly built? What if I make a mod that lets you just build all of those? So yeah, like the Matryoshka brain. What's the other one? Oh god, there's that that hypothetical like disc
Solar
above.
engine where you can move solar systems.
Oh yeah, that. You can actually build a
Okay.
mobile solar system, like literally a portable solar system that you can just like move and take different places,
Hmm.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So yeah, you could do that as a thing. There's the the Alderman disc is this basically theoretical. So imagine a bike wheel
Hmm.
above
Okay.
the solar system, like literally on a
Okay.
plane above it, and it's a big
Yeah.
flat bike wheel that stretches out over the entire solar system. And in between the spokes, in between all the spaces, are massive arcologies where like billions of people could live and work and operate.
Okay.
So you can
I
build
guess
those.
getting it the right distance, it would get like all the solar stuff of a planet.
Yeah,
That's a great way of solving some of those issues.
yeah. It's
Huh.
it's another one of those like theoretical input technologies where it's like if we ever found evidence of this thing, then that means that there is a god and it's an alien.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, I'm pausing because I have run into a bajillion aliens and I have to like I
Oh, you
and I
met
completely
some
forgot
friends.
about them. I have to like send a bajillion envoys out now.
I believe I too have met some friends.
Yeah.
Track on map. Where is this thing?
We like to meet friends in this playthrough.
Where is this situation? log?
Speaking of friends, I have some
Mhm.
friends I need to be dealing with. Give me a moment. I need to build up some armies. Michelle's
You,
played enough Stellaris to know what that probably means.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. Yep. Which
Is it
now that
conquering
you remind
time? I
me
think it's
means I have to
conquering
do this
Oh,
too.
the fact that I'm building armies and not fleets means I'm doing a very specific kind of conquering.
Yep.
Mm.
See that little symbol right here? I'll go ahead and put stream back on my view. So
Anomaly
see that little
detected.
that little symbol right there, a little axe symbol. Keep that in
Mhm.
mind for a little bit. That means something.
Construction complete.
Ah.
It's a secret tool that we'll use for later.
It's a secret tool that will help us later.
Oh hey, archaeology project's going through.
Vaguely related.
Uh-huh.
The question I feel like I've asked in our like meetings, but I don't know that we've stayed on stream. Like, how different is the trajectory for these characters for you compared to where you thought they would be, like the Cyberpunk game?
Oh man, so different. Like
Mm-hmm.
vastly. I didn't think like this kind of like delve into politics would be like the turn Fox took. It just seemed like the thing that kind of made like sense and would be interesting given like the
Mm-hmm.
kind of like conditions you were building up around us. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I kind of like again like when I kind of said like what I wanted out of this campaign, I thought I was kind of like I wanted like kind of like a Boys in the Hood like paid in full kind of like like that more like in the muck of it, kind of like the lower levels of it. But having
Yeah.
my character who is very used to like the lower levels and like to operating in like that and those conditions, to have him be suddenly have like all of his everything that he has threatened by someone like from one of the highest levels up, like the only way I could rationalize Fox coping with that would be to say like I need that power.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello. Hostile aliens. Interesting. I'll deal with that when I have to.
I feel like Michelle's concentrating, so I will not ask her that question.
You can go ahead. I'll just have to pause a little bit if you.
Oh, we were just
No.
saying, where did you think Lynx was going to start with, and how is it different than where we've actually gone with this story now that it's almost over?
You know, like, I didn't actually think too hard about that, to be honest. I was just kind of like, I
This
was
is a
just kind of
character
like,
that
let's just
exists.
see. Yeah, this is a character that exists. Let's see where it goes from here. Initiate friendly greeting protocol.
Suspect analyzed.
But yeah, so I was kind of just like, hey, let's see where this goes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really, I wasn't really going to,
It's fair to not have plans for that sort of thing, honestly.
Yeah.
yeah,
Where it's like, hey, this is just the world we're in. Sometimes people are in sort of, I guess, stasis where they're at in life, and sometimes that's the character you have is like, no, they've found an equilibrium, and then things happen to them, and they change because of it.
Exactly.
And in that place, it's like better maybe to not have a plan for how the character grows.
And that kind of feels like Lynx as a person too, where it's like you're not so much the kind of person that jumps to like having like the immediate like I need to do this, where it's more just like things happen and you kind of like react and shift and become because of them, you know? And I don't think that's like that's a bad thing to have as a character, you know? At all,
Yeah.
honestly.
All right, works for me. I don't know. Like I said, it works for me. So I don't really,
I mean,
feel the pressing
It-
need to.
yeah, and I mean
Mhm.
that's kind of like in terms of like how Fox grew. That's kind of just how I treat characters in campaigns. Like no matter who I have, I always tend to just think like, okay, I want like, uh-oh, what was that? Hold up, Streamlabs is making noise.
Planetary exploitation
Oh, that's
forecast
fine.
complete.
Just okay, that's fine. Streamlabs, thanks for letting me know. I guess
What happened?
just randomly was like there was an issue with audio, but it's fine.
Wow.
Okay.
Really
Anyway,
need this tech out of the ballpark.
no. So like whenever I sit around with whenever I sit around with like with a character in a campaign after every session, whenever especially like whenever big things happen, I always stop and think to myself like, okay, how is my character reacting to this? Like what internal processes are they going through? And that tends to guide my decision making, you know?
That's fair.
Like that tends to sort of like, especially like when it comes to Fox, like as we were kind of like delving into this sort of larger idea of what was happening, what was taking place in this, in this world, I found myself wanting to like, yeah, like I found myself like wanting to decide like how this character who's so obsessed with the idea of like money and status being power, how does he react to and change according to this information he's learned? You know, that's sort of been the process for me.
Let me pause for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I need to.
Go ahead, love, you're fine.
I want to. What?
I'm sorry. That's a great
Do you want
reaction.
to take a look at my screen? Cause like these are the people, and I'm like, can I? How do I
yeah,
diplomacy?
it's the caretakers. They basically are. You can either play the slot machines, you can open a loot box, or you can buy some premium coins. Or
But
you
like,
can just,
what?
Or you can just end communication if you don't want to do any of that shit.
say,
What do these
okay.
do?
What I said. One plays the slots, one gives you a loot box you open to get stuff, and the other you buy caravan coins to spend on the slots and the loot boxes.
Fuck it, let's do this.
Good luck.
I'm really curious. I'm curious. What are caravan coins? Sure.
Oh, hello.
Sure, why not? What are you doing? Get more of this stuff, I guess. What are you doing? Technological acquisition successful? That's nice. I
Well,
guess. Please automatically survey.
That's
Thanks.
nice.
Thank you.
Mm.
Machine assembly plants. Oh right, I need new tech. Start hold, please.
Yep.
Mm.
There are things happening. I'm suddenly meeting a lot of aliens.
You.
Galaxy's
I'm
not
going
that
to
big, huh?
build
Resource scan.
a
It's not a
foundry
very big
place.
galaxy, actually.
I want you to be a foundry
We
place, so we're
specifically
going
went
to do
small
that.
galaxy size, actually.
Features. Nothing that I can get rid of yet.
We built something.
Boom. We built something. I love
What are you
the advisor voice I chose.
No.
I pause for a sec while I grab more things. Unyielding? What does this do? Starbase. Defensive zeal. Resistance is
son.
what?
You're really racking in the unity, huh?
I am racking it. Well, I only have a plus 33 to my unity though.
I'd be racking in much more stuff if I could actually get my spread going, but it's not
Starbase
happening
capacity.
the way I want it to.
Oh, okay. Unyielding is for defensive wars.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Diplomacy. I'll take expansion though because I am being expansionist right now.
We'll get that.
So I have sort of a standing question y'all could think about.
Hit me.
Sure.
But is there any moment in the campaign where you feel like, oh, I made this decision as a character and I'm really satisfied with how it turned out. But that's like a very broad question that I think you could have many answers to. So it's like it's unfair to be like, answer me now.
Uh,
Dig into your soul at this moment.
I mean, obviously, like, Tate, you and I built the arc around Fox discovering his daughter as like a thing. So clearly, like, that decision and like those character moments were pretty big for me. But I think
that one's interesting though, because it was almost born out of some of the mechanics that Cyberpunk gives you of like, hey, roll some dice and see how many ex-lovers and enemies you have. And Fox had so many on accident.
Which
it
just,
was
like,
so good.
It's super.
it was
built,
pretty funny, actually.
It's so fit the character I want it to be as well. Like I was like, yeah,
right?
this works perfectly for who he is. Like he would have all this baggage, you know. So it just became like. So
and I think in that way, I would have honestly even said, hey, just roll adversaries as if you have maximum adversaries and however many love interests you want, instead of leaving the number up to chance. But I even like the ones that came out of it.
Exactly, like the chance of it ended up just being so perfect.
Sometimes the dice just know, man.
Yeah, man.
It also worked out perfectly for me because I kept rolling zeros for enemies and everything. And I was just like, oh, that's just me.
Lynx minds her own damn business is why.
She don't fuck with nobody. Don't nobody fuck with her. I ain't mad about it.
When she does fuck with someone, they don't know about it until afterwards.
That's the
like, who did this? We don't know. It just sucks.
Declare rivalry. The Covenant next
Look
to
at
me
that
has
weird-
declared us their rivals.
Oh man, you're meeting
Look
Look
friends.
at that weird bug man.
Fucking weirdo.
Fine,
Bug dude.
diplomacy. I'm gonna send someone to improve relations
Look at you making friends.
because fuck you, and I don't wanna go to war. They're a holy tribunal, so they hate me on principle for being Machine Empire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't really go over this, but like you pick your ethics in this when you build your empire.
Yeah.
So Michelle doesn't have them. 'Cause she's a Gestalt consciousness, so she doesn't have ethics because her people just believe in whatever she believes in.
Yeah, basically.
My people, however, are let's see. Actually, give me 1 second. We are
They're normal, squishy people with opinions. How
yeah.
dare
So
they?
our government, however, is authoritarian, xenophobic, and materialist. So we're not really big on people, but the guys who Michelle's talking about, they're clearly fanatic spiritualists. So part of this game is like, so again, a lot of the ethics are on opposing axioms. So you can either be xenophilic or xenophobic. You can be militarist or pacifist. Materialist and spiritualist are on that same diagram. And materialists focus you on like researching and robots and stuff like that.
So if you pick a robot race, it's like, nope, default all the way up.
Oh yeah, and well, you don't even count as being a materialist, but literally part of being a spiritualist empire is one of the because like you get certain like pluses and negatives for picking your civics. One of the negatives for being a spiritualist population is that your people literally can't.
Oh, hey, we met you.
Hey, what's up? Your people literally
Initiate
can't.
friendly greeting protocol. I met a bajillion people. Holy shit! Why are there so many? I have met so many new people.
Yep.
Help. Okay. Okay. That's okay, I guess.
All right, hold on 1 second. I'm also meeting some new people.
Yeah.
You're the Volks cartel. Oh, hey, you are literally right next to me.
Yep.
Hello. See?
Hello.
Hello, it's me.
Hello. It is in fact you. If only you.
I'm going to take this spot because fuck the bug guys next to me.
I'd sell you some.
They're
fine
not getting
wares.
this exotic guess.
But I fortunately can't sell you any fine wares yet.
I kind of like. I'm trying to improve relations with them, but I still also fuck them.
No.
Listen.
There's like this kind of pettiness that I think a theocratic oligarchy. They want to establish an embassy. Mutual embassies. Fine.
That's weird. They like you?
Criminal syndicate. They want
another one?
the Tilnesi
You have a
syndicate.
rival.
I decline.
Well, somebody's getting bodied.
The only embassy that I would except from a criminal syndicate would be the would be Foxy's.
Speaking of which, here, let's do that. If you don't mind me, let me do a
Hegemonic
thing real quick.
imperialists.
Offer trade deal. Trade deal. I get communications. You get communications.
Hegemonic. Yeah, sure. Okay, whatever. Trade deal. Sure. Agreed. Actually, where are you? Your Volks cartel diplomacy. Can we whatchamacallit, establish embassies with each other?
Sure, why not?
Confirm.
Ding, ding, ding.
Let's be friendly. And just as since there is a criminal empire, we are going to put sentinel posts. Not sentinel posts. Sorry.
Okay.
What is it?
Now I can see where everybody is. So where is that other criminal empire? Oh, they're far. Huh. Very far, actually. And
They're
a lot of
way
people.
far away.
And a lot
Wait,
of
now
people.
that I think about it, can I even have crime on my
No.
as a machine empire?
No, you cannot. You can have
just like-
deviants, but you can't have crime.
I'm just like, how
But is that just like the same mechanic with different words in it?
Yes, basically. Well, it's
Yeah.
but it doesn't spread the same way.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a little,
I can't influence it the same way I can influence crime on other people's planets.
yeah.
All right, let's keep doing the building thing. And while we're doing the building thing,
I
cool.
paused because all of my scientists have finished their archaeology shenanigans.
proud of you.
I want more archaeological dig site.
Then go dig for more dig sites.
Oh, you said no? Fine. Sad face.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
To establishing an embassy.
Oh, I was an accident. I'm so sorry. I wasn't even looking. I'm so sorry.
Accidentally almost caused an intergalactic incident. That's
My
fine.
bad. Here, I got you. Hold up. Where is it? Not favors. Here, I got you.
I hit the unpause button so it actually works.
There you go.
We agree. There we go.
There you go. See, now we're good friends.
Now we're cool.
Now we're good friends.
I wouldn't
Hey,
call
tho-
us good friends.
That holy tribune,
Yeah.
the holy tribune,
Good. For...
the
Yeah,
holy tribune, the Vlehet Covenant, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna start building my spy network with them, cause I don't trust them or like them.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Oh, Michelle, I just got the most Fox technology.
What?
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna work on making exotic gas refineries.
Nice. Oh, let's
See
see.
me
The
for all your exotic
mycelium
gas
listening
needs.
array is finally operational. The only decision whether or not to use it for surveillance or not. Do we leave the mushrooms be or do we start monitoring?
Man, fuck those mushrooms.
I mean, you're robots, so I don't know how useful mushrooms are going to be to you. Unless we're
No,
going Star
okay,
Trek
it's a
rules and they might let you
mycelium
teleport.
listening array. It is literally
It's some Star Trek bullshit. Okay.
It's literally a fungal like listening array.
That's strange.
It's yeah. The oh, this is funny. The Fumungous listens again.
The Fumungous, I hate it. I'm so mad about it.
That's why I'm like, okay, what would Lynx do? She'd either be like, okay, we should leave them alone, or we should. But I feel like Fox would say, oh, but you should totally Fox would be the one who would say you should totally start monitoring them, and Lynx would
Yeah,
be like,
start-
no, just leave
I
them.
mean,
Start fucking with
Fox
them.
would be like, we need to start monitoring them so, like, if there's a psychedelic mushroom on there, we can have it.
We
And
need to start
also
monitoring
listening array.
everybody. What do you fucking mean?
And Lynx is just gotta like, they're mushrooms, just leave them be.
Speaking of which,
So,
where's that
I
other
swear
crap?
that the idea of fungal, like, listening network or the silly Star Trek, like, I can teleport anywhere in the universe using mushroom paths through space. I swear that all comes from something about how, like, individual fungi seem to be able to communicate extremely quickly between their entire, like, multi-layered body that's actually a bunch of different organisms on top of each other. Like, there was something about that how fungus kind of defies our definition of life in some ways. That they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, why not? Let's just give it a bunch of other random shit. Maybe it can communicate across
Space.
galaxies for all we know. Space!
It's like, you know, why not? Why wouldn't it be able to do that?
Yeah, who the fuck knows? It's a really fun concept for me of, like, the idea of biologically grown technology, to the point that it's a setting I have that maybe one day we will do a game in. it's not going to be the next one that I do because it's a little too close to Cyberpunk, and I do want some space. I want to try something different.
Yeah.
But the
Fair.
next dystopia Cyberpunk thing may in fact be, no, actually your car is a muscle that you grew in a box.
Okay, Fox, we have to have this conversation now.
Hit me.
Does Lynx's empire start monitoring the humongous network, the mycelium listening array, or do we leave the mushrooms be?
I mean, you never know what they could do, right? Poke it. As they start monitoring it.
But we should leave the mushrooms be. It also, here, let me also explain what it does. If I leave the mushrooms be, I get a fuck ton of unity.
True.
If I start monitoring, I get +1 to my code breaking and authoritarian attraction modifier for 20 years,
Well,
even
that
though I
doesn't-
have no
Yeah,
ethics.
that literally can't affect you. You don't have ethics, so
Uh,
I think you're
You know,
okay.
so I basically just give a +1 to code breaking.
Yeah.
So I can either get 1,636.
Wait, are you really asking if Lynx would turn down a +1 to code breaking?
Oh, you know, that's fair. You are correct.
Come
Even
on
if Lynx
now.
doesn't have anything for like espionage and is not doing any espionage right now, of course. Like, why would she ever turn down anything for code breaking? Seriously.
Planetary exploitation forecast.
Leave
Oh,
us
another
down.
archaeological dig
this is
site.
a fair point.
Keep it going. Hey, not to
Alright.
cut off your expansion or anything, but I'm gonna cut off your expansion for a little bit. Not to
Oh, what?
personal. Said not to cut off your expansion or anything, but I'm gonna cut off your expansion.
Construction complete.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. I have plenty of space to.
Can we monetize
Yeah,
this?
sure, why
Should
not?
the net to yes, galactic community. Why
Oh
not?
dear, it's time for the galactic community.
So the thing is, right? I'm fine with that because I've already made a starbase. Then that's like a choke point. So unless like the other guys over there try to like fuck things up for me, I am basically fine with it.
Yeah, no one who's
You know
a
what I
threat
mean?
to me has any borders with me right now, so I can play it pretty fast and loose. Speaking of
Fair.
which, hello, Valette Covenant.
I need a place where I can just generate more and more and more freaking what do you call it? More energy credits. Oh, this already has a colony.
Resource scan complete.
Cool. It's just building one.
Alright.
Who are you? A Wankworth Gardens?
Construction complete.
It's a Gaia world. I'm gonna not bother it because usually Gaia worlds have how do we
Some shit
call it?
going on?
Yeah, they have shit going on.
I mean, hey,
Like yeah. Like
If they
basically
don't-
usually there's some fallen empire that will like probably fuck your shit up if you
but if they don't have one, Gaia World have like a plus 20% to like all job output.
yeah, basically.
So I'm just saying,
You'd risk it? You'd risk it for the biscuit?
I'd risk it for the biscuit personally.
Yeah, but that's you.
That is me.
Remember, that's you we're talking about. We're talking about Lynx here.
True facts. You're not wrong. Point
Alright.
taken.
Would not Lynx eventually hear from Fox, and Fox would be like, hey, yo.
Do the thing. You should do the thing. I'm not saying do the thing, but do the thing.
Boom. We built
All right.
something.
I'm not gonna take this one because I don't want border friction with these guys. They already hate me enough.
Man, fuck them.
That's that.
I don't know
that's
who we're
also
talking
fair.
about, but fuck them.
Who
Oh,
knows?
it's
but
the
also,
the crazy spiritualists right next to us.
Oh, right, those guys. I'm actually already working on gathering intel about them.
All right. Actually, you know what? Let me
Speaking
pause and let me. How do I espionage?
You have to first. You have to send have you built a spy network yet already?
And I want to change the target empire to the Villette Covenant.
Yes. So make sure you actually send an envoy. Send an envoy to them, so you can get them to build a spy network. I thought I was gonna have more envoys available, but apparently I only have 2.
Right.
That's okay though.
It's like, did
yay.
I accidentally?
The Galactic UN's built. Fantastic.
Hmm.
You already know what I'm throwing up there. I want that
Woohoo,
economy.
we-
I want that
Let me
economic
pause.
power.
Let me pause. I'm going to propose unchained knowledge.
So, Foxy, you're playing a crime syndicate who's part of the Galactic UN?
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Listen, what are they gonna do about it?
I oppose
not
the
invite
pest
you
control.
to a diplomatic meeting because you're a
Resource
crime
complete.
syndicate?
They can't prove it.
Prospect
Oops.
analyzed.
I'm just your friendly mega corporation here to sell healthy products to all of my neighbors. What products?
Nah.
Mind your fucking business, bitch.
Democratic Crusaders. They're fanatic militarist and egalitarian.
Democratic Crusaders. Oh, so it's the U.S.
Yeah.
Do I
Yeah.
do I want to let them establish an embassy?
Do you like them?
I decline.
Oh well, there you go.
Egalitarian materialist? I'll take it.
Huh? That's a combo you don't see too
I'm still
often.
imagining some
Oh,
UN situation where it's like now hearing from the delegate from the alleged syndicate.
fun fact: the guys to the have you met the Free Nurian Confederation to the far
Let me pause
west?
and check.
They're
I have to pause and check though because I don't actually know.
Just look to the far west, right? Like right to the left of the guys next. Yeah, those
Yes,
guys.
the Free Nurian Confederation. Yes,
They
I
just
probably
made-
met them through you actually.
They
To be
just,
honest.
They just made an embassy with me. I don't know why, but I guess they like me.
Eh.
Who are
Heck
these
if
guys?
I know, man.
Oh, they're Democratic Crusaders. It's the U.S.
Oh, those are the guys. Yeah.
Oh,
those are the
I see why. It's
guys.
because they already don't like the other crime syndicate. So like the
Ah.
U.S., they're choosing which criminals they side with. I got it. Okay, got it. It makes sense.
Standard democratic crusading move right there.
That's funny actually.
I got it, Space U.S. I see what you're up to.
That's kind of funny actually.
Let's go start building some more things over there. That system has 12 minerals in it, and I would like it. Thank you very much.
Those minerals, they're mine now. Give it to me.
Speaking of which, hi, primitives. Y'all are in the industrial age? That's fine. Let's see. You guys have
What's this person doing?
6
Yes.
industrial level armies on there? Oh, that's fine. I'm gonna go land 13 space level armies on your planet. See how you handle that. Good luck. Speaking of which, I need more star bases. I don't necessarily have any borders with enemies yet, but I will soon. So I need to get to work on that ASAP. Which means I need more construction ships. Who closed borders with me? Oh, fine, whatever. Oh,
Wait, pause while I have to deal with the bajillion science ships that have to do things. Seriously.
You got it.
What?
Oh, that's
That's a construction ship requirement. Who are you? Track on map. Stop tracking. Who are you? Where do I go with this? Is there a thing on the map? No? Oh, there is a thing on the map. All the way back there. You.
Way back there.
Way...
Yeah.
Oh, now I can see where their planets are. Or at least I can almost see where their planets are.
You move all the way
Bit
over
more
here.
intel on them.
You go back to automatically surveying. I unpause. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Oh, I have crazy amounts of what do you call it?
Yeah, I too
Empire
am...
sprawl.
Oh, I'm actually okay with Empire Sprawl right now. So I'm actually gonna start looking to colonize some more.
Oh, interesting. So there's a mechanic for like your empire too big.
Oh yeah. Not only is it a mechanic, it's called
Pretty good.
it's called your admin capacity, which you can actually there is actually are jobs that upgrade it. They're administrators.
Oh,
And there's-
interesting. Yeah.
There's a building that gives those jobs. So if you want to, actually, a thing that I do frequently is if you have a planet that doesn't really have any like good resources, you just stack it full of those buildings. You just literally have a planet where all your bureaucrats sit and do all your bureaucrating.
The bureaucrat planet.
The bureaucrat planet, which like as a sci-fi concept is low key the coolest shit. I kind of think it's great actually.
That could be pretty fun. Yeah.
Our troops
I'm gonna turn this one into the bureaucrat planet actually.
prospect analyzed.
Oh hey, we're attacking that planet now. Let's see how that's going. Good.
What is this person doing?
It's going very
More.
good.
Who are you attacking?
Just the primitives on in my space.
Eh.
Get me a free planet and some free pops.
Planet Incorporated.
Thank you.
Projections optimistic.
Free is
Pause
maybe
real
not
quick.
the word I'd use for used to be
Pause.
Yeah, thanks.
like populated by people and you had to fight them for it.
I
But
just need to make sure I get them all employed, get them all some jobs, because we don't have enough jobs for them to do. So let's go ahead and see if we can fix that. First off, industrial districts. Secondly, can I resettle to my other planets, which might have more available jobs? Oh, wait. No, I can't because stellar culture shock. Fuck, right. Okay, instead, can I resettle from my capital planet some of my Volks? That's probably a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Let's resettle one of my... Not my enforcer. Entertainer here. Resettle an entertainer there. Let them find a job to do there. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Ooh.
Sorry. Believe it or not, one of the more difficult parts of this game is like the reshuffling of things after you conquer a new planet.
Huh. Well, that seems to be maybe closer to life than we'd like to think.
You gotta realign all your new slaves, you know?
Ooh.
Set rights.
The Free Nurian Confederation is kind of fucking huge.
Oh yeah, they're big. They're military's factions. They've probably been spreading super fast with that lower starbase cost, you know. Okay, we can unpause for now.
Got it. I need to build better ships.
There's not a whole lot I can do on this planet except for just building up jobs for them, because I can't move people yet. 'Cause they are currently suffering what's called stellar culture shock. Basically, these people, these primitives, they were industrial age primitives who just recently realized that aliens exist, are real, and conquered us.
Yeah, that would be quite shocking.
So yeah, they're currently revolting against their new masters, but it's okay. We'll fix that.
All I can think is the bit from what movie was that? From Serenity, of like, oh yeah, we'll fix that with gas in the air. That'll have no problems later. Not at all.
Corporate culture site.
Imagine the profit margins
And
on this
then,
thing.
do I want alloy foundries? No. I actually think I might want civilian industries on here so I can get more civilian or more consumer goods. That'd be really helpful. So yes,
Okay,
that. New tech!
guy.
Yay! Oh, hey,
Loading.
Senate floors in session.
Anyways, yeah, before you guys kind of got busy and game stuff was happening,
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Fox, you're saying for Fox that his daughter being around was like this interesting decision that like changed the game for you.
Yeah, and I think beyond that, and obviously like the whole like running for mayor thing, which was, you know, that was pretty big.
Yeah,
But
that was also a pretty big last second addition. I remember distinctly.
yeah, I remember specifically when I was like, I'm gonna do this. I was like, Tate's gonna hate me for this. I know it. Like,
It was deeply entertaining, but very much like a, well, shit, now I gotta brush up on my political theory.
yeah. So that was very fun to do. But beyond that, I think I really just enjoyed like, I think I always intended to build Fox as the kind of character who would need time to build up genuine trust in the other party members, where it's like, hey, listen, I'll work with you guys because I know you guys can get work done. I don't trust or like any of you though. And so outside of like Lynx, obviously, who like is like his mom, you know, so that became a thing where I was suddenly very, very, I guess, kind of like hyper aware of like that moment when Fox said, all right, listen, we're in the shit now. I have to trust you people. Like, you know, from almost like last session where like in the moment before, like, you know, we went on the raid where Fox said like, listen, from here on out, it's just us, you know, like I have to trust you all. That was kind of like a big moment for me where I felt like the character was having like a bit of a moment of realization that I think like was like a fun to play through, you know?
No, and I think part of that just comes from really, like you say, you think about your character and what are they doing in this situation.
Right.
I don't know that everybody does that as much.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the thing. It's the thing that happens where it's like we often tend to like think of, you know, game interactions in terms of like, you know, how they would affect our or you know how they affect our us as like players, and not often about like how they affect our, you know, our characters, so to speak. So I often try to like think through that a lot as a you know, as a player.
Yeah, I think it also brings that healthy like way of looking at it. Like, look, my character is pissed. I'm delighted.
Exactly, you know.
Research complete.
Like that adds a lot to it. Kind of adds a bit like a deeper level to the game where it's like suddenly I don't just have to think about like what I would do here, but more so like what my character himself has conditioned himself to think. You know,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
there are plenty of moments in Neon Lights where I'm like, the smart thing to do here would be to play this, you know, simply and not be a dumbass and not jump into like, you know, like a fight or like to not antagonize this person. But Fox is not the kind of person who would think whether or not it's smart to antagonize a person.
Generate some revenue.
He would just do it.
They have laid claims to our systems, and I don't like it.
Uh-oh, they don't like you.
They really don't like me. I think they're gonna go to war soon.
Like,
I've been building up.
Excuse you.
Yeah, it's like,
I
excuse
live
me.
here.
Yeah, claim just basically means like they're like, hey, we have a right to this system, and we should have it. So, fun fact: unlike other like turn-based games, you can't just randomly declare war on someone. You have to have casus belli. You have to have a reason to go to war. But one of those reasons, if you're the right kind of empire, you can just make claims on an empire's systems and then say like, yeah, we're gonna go to war and take those claims. You can also go to war to humiliate an enemy. You can go to war to do all kinds of fun shit. I don't know what I want to do here.
End up looking at Michelle's screen more often just because the alien voice for her announcer is so soothing.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Which other voice did you go with, Michelle?
I just went with the Machine Empire one.
Oh
Standard.
yeah, it's a super good one. Yeah. I like my
Very...
corporation voice personally. I think I'm a big fan of that one.
Upgrades.
Sirek says, nope, be dumb. That's the best way to play tabletop.
Honestly, legit. Like, imagine being smart about the way you play a tabletop game. Fucking could not be me.
I think that the hard part for playing a smart character in tabletop is not just you have to be smart, but also it's hard to be... it's hard to know when to turn it off, because in real life, it doesn't matter how tactical you are as a person. Sometimes you're just acting casually. But when you're playing tabletop, it's easy to be like, oh no, he's thinking of the optimum thing at any given moment.
Right.
It's like, that's not how people live, though.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's always the thing I try to like tell my players, especially like when I see people who like get too bogged down in combat. It's like, hey, just think in the moment. Don't worry about like what makes the most sense. Just do the thing. Like, if it's the thing you think your character would do, just do it. You know? Don't worry yourself too much over like what makes the most sense, you know?
I'm almost more bogged down with like out of combat stuff of like, oh, there's so many things you could be doing to prepare for every given eventuality, and because it's a game you kind of try to, but I'm like, no one lives like that.
You can't.
People are like, nah, most people just have like vague goals they work towards and not, I have to be prepared for everything. But like that feels more intelligent. I don't know. It's like it's a hard balancing act in my mind to do for smart characters. So sometimes it's more fun to play dumb characters. Or like the shifter I'm playing in my home game, someone who's very paranoid but not smart, so he's more just suspicious of everything. It doesn't make plans about it. It's kind of fun of just like, I don't like you. Just every other thing you run into.
Me no likey.
Planetary exploitation for
Turning this into a... I'm gonna... can I change this to...
Oh, I am slightly over my Empire Sprawl now. I should fix that soon.
Alright, I now have destroyers, so I can build those. That's good.
Oh, right. I should do that at some point. Huh.
Yeah. My problem being that I have, like, the guys next to me definitely want to see me dead, so I'm like, oh, okay, that's a...
I just found another planet with, like, 19 industrial districts on it. I'm gonna be swimming in alloys. Let's do a few general districts on this first, so I can make sure I have enough of that going on. You don't have any orders. Can you survey this? Please go survey that for me. Please and thank you.
This one we're gonna turn into a generator world, so I'm just gonna turn that. This one is a Nexus district.
Planets. You've gotten so good at this game. I'm so proud of you.
This one is a mining district. One man's treasure is another man's treasure. Special project. Track on map. I need a construction ship there.
Another man's girlfriend.
Alright, situation log. Stop. Track on map. Where is it? Go to. Alright. Alright, you.
Yo, can I ask y'all a question?
Sure.
Yeah. Do y'all ever randomly get, like, a sudden urge to want to play a certain one of your characters again, and like it kind of like almost makes you sad a bit.
Construction complete.
Sometimes.
That's been me, and maybe it's partially just been like I've been wanting to play in tabletop stuff, and I haven't gotten to recently because like a lot of my stuff got canceled recently, so that's been part of it. But like, I have been really wanting to play Say recently. Like I've really missed my boy.
You're the edgy lightning boy.
I've missed my precious little boy, and I want him, and I wanna make sure he's okay. Oh hey, look, someone else joined the Galactic community. Fantastic.
Yep.
We've got new
No,
names.
Battery.
I get that. There's definitely some characters that like I played for a one shot and I've just never had a chance to play, and I'm like, oh, but I love this guy.
Oh no,
I made a Tabaxi monk for D&D that I just love the concept of grew up like albino, which for them is being marked by God, and so he's like, I fucking hate it. I'm gonna go punch God. Fuck him.
I have learned
It was
that I
so
dislike
funny.
God.
Right? Just imagine, because I love that concept for a fantasy world of like, you know that gods exist, and sometimes they just do shitty things to people, and you are the victim of that. What other recourse do you have? Like, of course you're gonna want to, if you have the ability to get that powerful, why would you not?
Construction complete.
Who?
Like,
And
man, I want to play
why?
that character more.
Randomly have a new ship,
Oh,
Ah.
probably from a project of yours, yeah. Happens.
probably.
Prospect analyzed.
Cool.
Honestly, I could see that happening.
Yeah, I haven't built up my military or my navy at all, really. I've been too worried about expanding right now because I haven't really had any enemies. Speaking of which, can I keep gathering more intel on you guys? I'd like to know where your planets are. I'd very much like to... Actually, you know what? I should build a listening post as soon as I can. Yay, we passed buzzword standardization. A lot of the policies you can pass in the in this game are representative of a thing called diplomatic weight, which basically is like when you are in the galactic community, you get a measure of like how much sway you have in the community based on 3 factors: your population, or I guess 4: your population, your economy, your technology level, and your navy, your naval power. And different policies can basically sway how much either of those things factor into your diplomatic weight. So the thing we just got passed, which I proposed, I proposed and then just got passed, increases how much weight your economy counts towards your diplomatic weight, which for an empire like mine is of course a good thing. Oh hey, a wormhole!
Boom. We built something.
I done found me one of them wormholes.
Construction complete. Boom. We built something.
Oh hey, the criminal syndicate, besides me, likes me a little bit more. They just open their borders to me. Horrible mistake! Imagine trusting me.
The aliens are reaching out.
They want to establish an embassy. Sure, why not? Whatever. For now.
Planetary exploitation forecast.
Everyone's opening their borders to me. Why do people like me now? What? Why are you all trusting me? You're making a mistake. I need to... Need to gather more intel. Oppose the shit out of that. Anyway. Support the shit out of that. Okay, cool. Huh. Even with no fleet, I'm still the second strongest diplomatic force in the galaxy right now. Michelle, why's your diplo weight so low? Get it fixed. Wait. Oh no. Did it? Guys? Hello? Interesting.
Capacity subs. Oh, hey.
I'm
You okay?
back. So I don't think my internet died. I think my Discord just decided to die.
Hello?
Hello?
I cannot hear him. Hopefully he can hear us.
Yeah. Question mark, question mark?
Well, we'll give him a second.
Hold up.
Yep.
What's happening? Hello? Hello?
Oh, Sir Hex,
Hello?
you hear?
Are you
Hey,
back?
everything died.
Nothing. No,
Apparently,
the funny thing is, nothing died. I think my Discord just exploded.
because apparently they could still hear us. At least Sir Hex says she could still hear us.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I have to fix stream now. Give me a second. Turn my camera back on. That's the wrong camera. Okay. All right. No, wait. That's wrong. There we go. Hold up. I'm gonna fix this, guys. Just stand by.
Hey!
Hang on, I gotta mute. There we go. Okay, cool. Awesome. Great. Did that fix the overlay? It sure did. Now I just gotta put it back
Perfecto.
in spot. Hold up. Okay. I have no idea what just happened. I have no idea how that happened. I don't know what just happened. It just decided to explode. How long was that going on? That just happened?
You kind
That
of
barely
like,
happened.
yeah, you kind of just like disappeared for a sec. I will
Okay.
also
That's very
leave for a
strange.
sec.
Alright.
Gonna.
Let's
gonna
take a
boot.
break.
Yeah, we could do a break.
Yeah, let's do a break. Sorry.
It's okay, no problem.
We'll be back. We love you guys a whole lot. That just happened. No idea why or how.
It happened.
But we fixed it.
Technical problems will happen.
We'll be back.
Mhm.
Love you guys a lot. Bye.
Bye.
Brr.
Cold open, we're back.
Oh,
Hey,
hey.
Hey,
We live.
games. Partway through.
Little change of pace, you know.
Fair. Fair enough.
I'm gonna play some Total War of Rome 2, assuming the game doesn't keep crashing on me. All right,
Well,
here we
you
go.
know.
Let's see what happens right now. I
I'm
am
sure
now
it will
trying
be
to load the.
fine.
Nope. It crashed again. I think it just
Oh.
can't run when I stream. Actually,
But
That would
it
be
works fine when you're streaming on Discord.
you know, no, it's because I think it can't handle streaming on Discord and the actual stream. So
Fair.
that's the
So
unfortunate
put it
part.
just onto the stream, and we'll see if we can't just live with
Yeah.
that. We'll be
All right,
behind.
solid. All right, in that case, stand by stream while I fix this.
Mm. So, do we want to talk now or at the end about like future campaign stuff?
Let's do it right now. Fuck it. Let's
Sure.
talk about it right now.
Why
Yeah.
not?
So the finale for Neon Lights is going to be a week from today. It's gonna be the
Yo,
last episode, and yeah, I'm gonna say don't miss it, please, because it's good.
it's definitely
I
gonna
hope it's
be
good.
the
We'll see.
absolute draw to a close of like the shit that we've been working on for a very long time, and I think you
Mhm.
are absolutely not gonna want to miss it. Like it's gonna be phenomenal.
Mhm.
Is
It's
all
gonna
I can
be
say.
scary as heck.
Yeah, and I think we were saying we wanted to do it at the same time we normally do, or during the same time we would do in his divine name, since that ended. I can't remember exactly.
I am totally fine with doing it still our normal time because the In His Divine Name
Yeah.
time slot is a little early in the day, or it was. The campaign's over now.
Yeah, the time slot still exists. It's just being filled with other things now.
Yes.
And so, yeah, y'all should come watch it so that we can have this finished up and have a good finale. And from here, we'll probably be doing new campaign stuff. We'll have
I
to
am
keep y'all
like
updated.
74% certain that I'm gonna die next session.
Nah.
I'm like it's like 60% possible that I die. I'm almost certain of it. It's a firm possibility that I die. I mean, I'm currently
I mean,
like
if you're going to be that certain about it.
I'm currently surrounded by like robots and shit on a stage, and like my friends aren't here, and all I got is my handgun, and I don't know, dog. It's not looking great. Is what I'm saying.
True. It's true.
What I'm getting at is it's not looking good for you, boy. That's the point I'm trying to make.
It's not looking good
Your
for you.
boy
It's not looking
is
good
in
for...
trouble.
Yep.
Your boy's in a bad spot. He's in a bad way. All right.
Cue Link's going on a revenge campaign.
Hey, listen.
Nah.
I mean, that's the sequel campaign. All right.
Is a Link's rampage.
Yeah.
That
Fucking.
sounds pretty interesting and dark.
Listen, I'm here
Ugh.
for it. Fucking imagine the kind of shit a net runner on a revenge kit can do. Ugh. Terrifying, if you ask me.
There's a little bit of me that wishes that they could get the hacking. Like, I like the idea of net running. I like the idea of like, oh, a digital space and all that. But I also kind of wish that the system was more like, say, how Watch Dogs handles hacking, where it's like, no, there's devices that if you break into the device, you get it to do what it does in the real world. There's not like a digital landscape. It's just the fact that everything is connected to Wi-Fi now. So I wish they just like give me a bunch of objects like that to manipulate in the world is a more entertaining hacking mini game to me.
True, I can dig that.
You know,
I feel what
yeah.
you're saying.
I can see that. Also, it like kind of parallels like the whole like IoT problem, really, where like, hey, a lot of things kind of run on IoT devices, and those are kind of easily hackable.
Look at Michelle spilling out all the dark corporate secrets you didn't know.
I mean, they're not
I'm
really
a little
dark
sad
corporate
if you
secrets. Pretty
don't
sure most
know
people
that
already know
one, but-
this.
Listen,
I'm
I don't
pretty
know. I don't know anything. All right, leave me the fuck alone.
Nah.
I built the dumb character for a fucking reason.
Nah.
Fucking talking about IOQs and shit, whatever.
IoT.
The fuck up. You heard what I said?
Internet of Things. It's just short for Internet of Things.
Wait, that's a really why would you acronym that?
Because it's easier to
I hate
say.
science. I hate science. It's stupid.
It's like
You heard it here first, folks. Science is stupid.
There it is.
That's the original.
Fox declares science sucks. Get dunked on, scientists. Come
It's that
fucking
bit
fight
of
me.
like, bitch from
So what you're
Always
saying
Sunny.
is you want half of the channel to come fight you, including half of the org. I'm kidding.
Listen, come at me, bitches. Y'all don't want any smoke, is what I'm saying.
Science and math.
Fucking science and math nerds. Fuck you guys. You fucking weirdos.
What you gonna do? Throw a calculator at me?
What are you gonna fucking do? Find the square root of me? You fucking nerds. You fucking. What are you gonna do?
Oh man.
The fuck are you gonna do? I need to be better, guys. I'm sorry. All right, let's try
Never.
launching Total War without streaming it on Discord and see how well that works for me. Oh man, so yeah, Tate. So what are your upcoming campaign plans? What are you gonna do? What are you doing next?
Yeah, so I've been asking around the kind of campaigns people want to do. And so like setting wise, I think we're settling on sort of a airship pirate-y thing, but the setting is gonna be very I always hate saying unique because someone's gonna be like, oh, it's just like this. But it's floating islands on a gas giant, and like the magic is basically breathing in the gases that you sort of live above. Is like the actual meta fuel of it in universe. Mechanics wise, I really want to make like this the one that I do my own custom tri system on, like this new system that I've been making for a long time now. But that's gonna be up to the players, and I've got a few people who already said that they wanna be involved.
Yep,
Lucian
Okay, sounds
specifically
interesting.
messaged me, and he's like, "Hey, have you started casting that yet?" I'm like, "Nah," but he's on the short list. He wants to be in on it, so I'm down.
Yeah, listen, I put in a very specific request for this campaign, and I feel like it shouldn't
He
be.
did on an anonymous survey that somehow from that question I knew it wasn't actually anonymous.
Listen,
I didn't think anyone else was gonna ask for that specific thing.
listen. I just feel like you could listen. We could talk about it. We don't gotta beat around the
Yeah.
bush about it. You feel me? Like it's.
I feel like you delivered the line better, so I was trying to set you up.
I just felt like I specifically requested to be a freed slave pirate captain who slays an endless amount of pirate puss. That was my specific request, and I need it honored in this campaign.
But no, I definitely think if all the players start going with a sort of pirate theme, there's a lot to be said about, yeah, you can always just like, the players might just go pirate because it's fun, but I think it's also fun to sort of examine why people in real life become pirates. There's this great YouTube video set of them from this guy, CPG Gray, who does just like a lot of very good political science and history stuff. And it was just like, hey, these two elements of pirates literally exist because of the economics of the situation and like social engineering. They just didn't have those words. Like the reason pirates have like the pirate flag and they are all intimidating and scary and they hide cannons and all these things are because it's easier to intimidate people into giving you your stuff. And then they further encourage that because if you don't give you the stuff, you kill them. But sometimes you can also get the crew to mutiny against their captain because the captain will be like, no, we're not going to do that. And then the crew's like, yeah, we will. And then the captain gets put on trial by the pirates. And those are like very interesting mechanics by which the pirates will get money. Sometimes it's like, no, the crew agrees with you and they hate their captain. So if you're going to string the captain up for crimes, well, we're down. You can have all our money. It's not ours.
All right, listen, guess what, you filthy bitches? Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I can't run Total War and stream at the same time. My computer won't let me. Computer
Cool.
says no. So if you'll give me a minute, because I've been working very hard while we've been talking.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
give me like 30 seconds, and boom, brand new fixed up overlay. You get all three of our faces, nice and bright and big in front of you. So
Hey.
we got what we said we're gonna end stream at 6. It's 5:09. Let's just hang for an hour, guys. Let's just chill.
Yeah.
You know? Just
I'll be
fucking
down.
chill. Talk about some shit. I got one half finished Angry Orchard. I got one unopened Angry Orchard. So let's just chill, for an hour and talk about what's going.
Mm-hmm.
Camera problems.
Your mother
We gotta-
doesn't line up with Michelle's, Spree. How about that, motherfucker?
He made it in 5 minutes. Get off.
While we were
Anyways.
talking. If you know what? If someone was here to stream manage, I wouldn't be dealing with this.
Throwing shade.
Bitch,
Throwing so
Hey.
much shade.
you know where I live. Fight me.
He sends a
sends
heart.
you a heart.
All right, that's fine. I love you instead. So, yeah.
But yeah, I really like that video, and I really like the one on like, hey, pirates only exist because like there's a bunch of people who are super underpaid and are not allowed to even be invested in like the ship that they're on.
Mhm.
And like, yeah, it's super dangerous to be caught as a pirate, but also because the crown is so far away, your odds of getting killed are actually not that much higher. And you'll get way more money for way less jobs. So like, some people just gonna roll that dice, and I'm also like, and it's raw the numbers of it of like, you get a share, split evenly between them, and so if we get a big haul, that's a lot of money.
I just
And
started thinking
I'm
about
like,
yeah.
I
I
like
fuck with
looking
that.
at that. I'm like, bring characters like that. You
Yeah.
are pirates for a reason. Why?
I fuck with that. I actually, this is fitting in with the. I'm saying this out loud for the few people who are there in chat who are like, oh man, it sounds great. We were talking about this earlier on stream, but I really love and have fallen in love with tables that come with established character dynamics, with like characters that are together. In particular, I feel like the more like the typical like the wars that usually like you see like come towards like end of campaign, like like married couples or things like that. Like, listen, I'm all for a romance deal at the table. I have nothing wrong with that. You all know me enough to know that I love that shit. But
Dating
sometimes
Sims number 1 and 2.
and 3 and 4. Anyway, but the point being, I had this thought for Violet Sea. If anyone hears this, and it's like, man, I'd do this character with Foxy. Hit me up. But the idea is to fit my my freed slave pirate captain. I thought the idea of like, okay, so if the whole setup is like there's a lot of piracy and there's a lot of because a lot of piracy grew out of like merchant sailors who kind of like didn't have a lot of money. So a super wealthy merchant sailor is like on his way towards getting like this big prize, the violet, the floating continent, the big important thing. Along the way, something happens, he dies. And so one of the slaves, my character, is like, hey, I'm gonna take this ship. Just gonna keep it. It's mine now. This is my ship. And I thought another character could be basically either like wife, daughter, somehow attached to the original ship's owner, and thus technically now owns the ship. And so she's just like, or they're just like, so why don't I just kick you off and kill you and take the ship for myself? And he goes, 'cause you're gonna marry me, so it's our ship. And that's our character dynamic. It's just like,
I could dig it, especially because like the concept I'm running with the try system, the way this is probably going to end up being set up is I have the basics of it, and then I'll be stacking on a few mechanics from like, for this style of campaign it needs these, but for like character advancement, I'm gonna make y'all custom ability trees.
hey, I do love me some ability trees.
Instead of classes, I like the ability tree setup. It feels different than classes, so it'll be very much like, what do you want to invest in? And I'll make some that are like for other people in the world. So if you're like, oh, that dude's cool, I want to do that, you can invest in it. But yeah, what kind of skills would dude who basically charisma checked his way into owning a ship would be an interesting skill tree to have of like, how like the term rakish audacity is used in D&D for just being fast with your charisma, I guess?
Yep.
Nah, really rakish audacity is, I'm the only person bold enough to say this shit, but I do it so charming that you might enjoy it.
Yeah,
I think that could be a very fun ability tree,
like
especially with this class system that has 3 charisma stats or 3 social stats.
Yeah, I don't know how I would build in like the sort of final step of it, but like the actual tree itself. But I know the last step of it would just be like, I have some resource where it's like once per game session, I can just make up some completely fabricated bullshit, and you as a DM, there's no role aside it, but you as a DM decide either if it's A, somehow like something conveniently happens that makes them believe me, or the complete bullshit I just said just happens to be true.
Nah.
Like,
I can dig that. It feels kind of Road to El Dorado-esque when they like are doing the bit and they're arguing and then the volcano nearly erupts.
Yeah, just literally just like walks up and like, hey, I'm gonna use my ability once per game. It's like, if you don't listen to this town right now, that volcano will go off. And he's like, what the
and
fuck
then
are
rumbles.
you? And I was like, oh, I mean, See? Which is fun because like that's such a character that I play that like even characters that I build that aren't like that do that. Like a great example I'll give is like we were playing through in like 2 Cold Hands Warm Heart sessions ago. I wasn't even playing my actual character Azarus. I was playing basically a character who was another Metal Guard, but like kind of like almost like a mirrored version of him named who they gave the name Honor. And Metal Guard are not charismatic. We have 8 charisma. We're not we're not exactly known for socializing. So the party, we were like moving to this like this Durgar fortress, and this party decides to stop for a long rest because they've burned through spell slots. They're like, you know what, screw it, we have to sleep. So they agree to rest, and while they're resting, because I'm a warforged, I don't have to sleep. The literal boss Durgar, Zardarak, comes to the door, starts knocking on the room, wondering if like the priest we just murdered is in there. So I'm like, oh fuck, what do we do? And so in character, without any hesitation, I just have Honor slip out and just go, the master is busy right now. He wishes to not be disturbed. And like, I ended up managing to play it out. So like, just like having that moment of like this character who has no idea how to lie, no idea how to bullshit, has literal only a poker face because he literally can't emote because he doesn't have facial features. So just like, it was so, like characters I play just tend like that. That's my usual go-to for how to get out of a situation. Is like, if I can't immediately fight my way out of it, it's how can I bullshit in the most grandiose way possible that the person who's arguing with me won't check me on it. It's also been most of how Fox has gotten around.
Honestly, the best lie is one that nobody cares to check on.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Don't give them a reason to think that you're lying.
Case in point.
And they'll never even.
Fox and flirting with the professor we encountered, Sylvana or whatever. Like, complete and total bullshit, but played off convincingly enough, and she has no need to question it. Of course, I've studied all these random things you've been talking about for years and happen to know about them for no reason. Suddenly, yeah, totally.
Clearly, obviously, yes, definitely.
There's nothing suspicious there.
Listen, don't question it. I'm sexy. That's Fox's go-to. Listen, don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. I'm hot. All right.
It's an interesting contrast because I guess like I don't know, for me I'm like bullshitting is not my forte. Let's leave it at that. It's not my forte. So it's like anytime this happens, I enjoy it when I see other people do it, but like it's not really something my characters tend to be able to do. They kind of either are like me and they either need to have the actual answer to say something, right, or just tell the fucking truth, right, or lie by omission.
I get that.
Yeah, there's lying by omission, but like I feel like they don't really ever tend to bullshit anything. It's like
yeah.
Well, sometimes it's fun to play an expert, and I feel like that's more where you end up going to.
Yeah, either that or the exact opposite, because that's easy to do. It's just do exact opposite of
Like again, in the vein of like playing characters who are like me, a lot of my characters tend to share my trait of like a trait I used to have a lot, where it's like I don't necessarily didn't have confidence in myself, but I knew through experience that I could bullshit or like just like crap shoot my way through so much stuff that I just became like my instinct, which is like, all right, fuck it, just do it, like whatever. And so like the idea of like when faced with a new challenge or a person you need to like get around, just make up some elaborate lie you can just like carry your way through until they agree with you is a very much thing that like a younger me would do. So like the fact that Fox does shit like that where it's just like yeah, totally, okay, no problem, like sure, whatever. Or like this is a bit of like a thing that like, you know, I guess technically only you two, and if Corn Dog's still in chat, she'd recognize too, like from the episode 2 of Core Hearts, which the chat will see like whenever it comes out when I'm done editing the series, that moment in the dorm where Inari and Tayo like do like the whole like frat initiation bullshit. It's such a thing that college me would do if I had to get in someone's room, be like, yeah, I'm trying out for a frat, I need to get a pair of your sweatpants. Like just the most ridiculous bullshit I can spill out of my ass, and just like
the thing is though, it's totally believable bullshit.
Exactly, like that tends to be the fun, is like fight, and like that's kind of like the trademark, is like my characters walk on different lines of like where they are with how long they've been doing that, like Inari's still young and kind of dumb, and so like his lies are kind of just more like you know, more kind of like how you know like kind of like hamstrung or whatever. Whereas
Mhm.
lying is literally what Fox does. So when it comes to Fox, I can more just be like, all right, I know what to say here. Like Fox approaches everything just like I'm gonna walk up, be calm, be cool. Like Fox never lets himself get flustered. Where Inari's more just like, huh, yeah, totally, sure.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a fun like
Sometimes you need
yeah.
both, though.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's kind of like the fun thing of like playing characters that are like different snapshots of the same person. Me in this instance needs to like them having a lot of similarities, but also like a fair like differences in how they approach their similarities. You know?
Hmm. I could also imagine the mechanic, at least in like the setup I have for chat that doesn't know, the try system has three kinds of roles. There's a static one where it's just you, there's cooperative where somebody helps, and there's combative where you're contesting something. And there's physical, mental, and social stats, three for each. A point pool for each of those three. It's very much set around this like set of threes, so I can maybe fit more in without it being too complicated because it's easy to dissect it into these sections.
Right.
Uh, and I can just imagine like this whole I'm gonna lie something outrageous and it turns out that it's definitely gonna happen, it already exists. I could almost play that as like a combination of being really good at lying, but also like being a little psychic. And so it's like, oh no, you're gonna spend mental points and social points to get this done. But if you do, and it's a lot, you just get to say this shit, and it just turns out the world decided, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The one
Either you
shit
were
thing
guided by the
is
world or the
actually
world agrees with you, and I like that a lot.
Yeah.
You could call it arguing with the world almost.
Mhm.
Bluffing the world?
Yeah.
Bluffing the world. I like that.
It's kind of like the fun thing where it's like because I treat TTRPGs as like a conversational dynamic between player and storyteller or whatever, or even just like
Hmm.
between storytellers. I I love those moments where it's like I am just pitching at my GM and they're like just
Hmm.
throwing back at me, and we're just constantly having to sort of like play this back and forth where it's like I say some not outlandish
Yeah.
shit, they give me a reaction, and I'm like, okay, well, how do I react to that? Okay, well, how do I react to that? And so like those moments for me are very very enjoyable, which is why I always like playing characters who do that because it makes it
Hmm.
one, it keeps my GMs on their toes because it's like, all right, they're walking up to a town guard, what elaborate bullshit will Foxy come up with this time? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
What bullshit
it's
is
like
he
here we
doing
here we
today?
fucking go. But also like it just provides moments where it's like the story can be made so much more dynamic through just like us adding so much to the world, you know? Like again, not I've
Hmm.
shouted them out like a million times on different streams, but I'll shout them out for this campaign again. Saint with Roundhouse had a lot of that where it was like a lot of the world building in the individual sessions was our characters putting our own influence on the world. And part of that's like how Monster of the Week works, obviously. But even beyond that,
Yeah.
like Saint being able to be incredibly on his toes with like reacting to things and changing things and adjusting to the world, it just made it really, really simplistic for us to like feel comfortable doing that and planting our sort of like mark as players on the world. That's kind of the thing that I always want to empower players to do. So I always do that whenever I'm in character. I always try to like build characters who reactively approach the world, you know?
I can dig it.
It's like an assertive reactiveness, I guess.
Yeah, from a DMing style, I always think of it as I have a setting and I have bad guys who they have plans. I have neutral people that have plans, and then there is sort of like a lower background level PC that are only there because the people who have plans know what they will do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I just keep that in mind what their goals and plans are, and then the players are a completely unknown factor that I'm like, well, who knows what the hell they're gonna do. I just have to try and keep the people who make plans and change the world how they're gonna react to someone else doing that thing they didn't plan for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that, and it definitely feels like the way Neon Lights art the campaign played out, where it was very much felt like there were larger forces at play even from the beginning, but it felt very much like we didn't enter with an immediate plan of what we had to do, but so much as
Hmm.
we began to make our mark on the world, those larger forces began to react to us, which necessitated our
Exactly.
action in certain fields.
Hmm.
It's a good way
Things
to
happen, we react. Things
yeah.
happen again, we react. We do something stupid, the world reacts.
Yeah, it's a fun way to sort of like approach the like world building and storytelling. I feel like
And honestly, there's definitely times where I have an idea how stuff is gonna go, but then the dice say otherwise. Like
Yeah.
100% Foxy announcing he was mayor, but doesn't deciding, oh yeah, we committed terrorism. I'm like, you just admitted to this in a open air stall with people who could have any number of recording devices, of any number of political affiliations, and then you rolled 2 10s, and I'm like, shit, actually, the world has decided no, everyone's on his side. That changed the tone of how that was gonna go from the beginning. Of like, okay, no, he's gonna actually make a run of this. It would
Yeah.
There would not have been remotely as much political stuff if someone had like just recorded that shit, and it would have been like, I'm running for mayor, and everyone would have been like, police?
Help! Police! That's hilarious. Yeah, no, that and like I think I'll adore that moment as like one of the moments I cherish the closest from this campaign in hindsight, because like it felt like the most Fox moment of just like, this is not a well-made plan. It makes no sense, and anyone outside would have told him if he had any wherewithal to like consult anyone on this plan beforehand. They would have been
Oh
like,
my God.
"No, you fucking moron! Please don't."
Yeah,
But
when you did that, I feel like Link's just kind of just standing there going like, "Oh my God, what the fuck did you just do?
like,
How do I damage control?"
exactly. But like for him to not even be
Mhm.
worried about how like disastrous that could have been, and then for it to play out completely in his favor anyway, just felt like the most Fox thing possible.
Exactly.
Just like that brief moment of like, I imagine like as Fox says it, just like, yeah, no, I'm running for mayor of South Night City. Link's is just like, someone's gonna shoot him, and then like everyone starts cheering, and she's just like, what the fuck? How? How does he keep doing this?
It's like, hey, people just love me.
I don't know. I'm sexy. What do you want?
Just walks around, wipes all recording devices.
Listen, I'm sexy. I got a good ass team behind me. I need those two things.
Sure. Exactly.
Listen. You cannot name a problem in this campaign that has not been countered or solved by either you guys' competence or my sexiness.
I
I mean, fair.
fair
All right
enough.
then.
The only ones that haven't been solved are ones that are kind of like, that's not that important right now. Like,
Wait, no. Wait, well, okay, that does count as competence, though. Fuck.
There you go.
It's gonna be like...
it's like Dion is still handling his stuff, but really, and honestly, for people watching and stream, that's probably gonna end up being like a, I don't know, a one shot that we do later, possibly. And it's gonna be like logistics and stuff. But I do like what Dion was building, what Joe was building, and unfortunately, he had some stuff going on and he couldn't really finish the story. But I feel like I've been trying to keep it in that space where, yeah, his story's still going.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see where that ends up if we could. But
I agree. I'd love to revisit that at some point.
Yeah.
See what that story unfolds for us.
What is Dion doing? Besides being a cryptid.
No,
A cryptid.
he is a little bit a cryptid. I feel like he isn't as much as some of his friends, especially Ben, the big guy. Like, he is just straight up a cryptid. He's freaking like the gator in the sewers kind of.
Oh yeah,
mythical
Fox. That
person.
gets weird. Listen, Fox doesn't judge, but that gets weird.
Yeah. If you were born 3 times the size of an average person and like covered in armored scales, you'd be a little weird too.
Hey man.
I feel like Link's the kind of person who's like trying very hard not to judge. At the same time,
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, that's weird though. like
I
cannot.
didn't even get to the weird like modifications they made to some of these people. Tess, Dion, and Ben are the normal ones.
Quote normal.
Yeah. Of the 5, those are progressively more weird as it goes on, in my opinion.
Wow.
I love
Yeah,
that.
honestly, it was very fun to work with Joe, and he's like, yeah, this like biological experiment thing, and I'm like, ooh, that's not a mechanic, and Cyberpunk, this game that I just started learning. Let's try it. So of
Yeah.
course, the more
Why not?
comfortable I got, the more I'm like, all right, let's mess with this some.
Yeah, that's been part of the fun is like through Fox getting to kind of like have my way of like slightly putting my bit of world building on it. Cause like Tate,
Mhm.
you and I established earlier that like Fox knows South Night City, like it's his home turf,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
getting to be able to say like, yeah, no, this thing just is there, and Tate's like, yeah, I mean, you would know that thing is there because you operate here,
Mhm.
like getting to
Well, it's
be the
something I
local,
love
you
to do
know.
for any game is the character you play is gonna have some knowledge you don't. It's just the same thing as in like a D&D game, someone playing the wizard and some magic happens, they go, "Hey, can I roll Arcana to know what that is?" It's like, yeah, because your wizard would know. It's that, but for local knowledge, the kind of things we just don't think about all the time. Of like, what's the best street to get to downtown this time of day, or the best tacos in the city, or whatever.
Exactly.
Oh,
And like it's been fun to play that character. Like it's been fun to play the operator, the guy who just like knows what to do and when to do it and knows who to put on the right jobs, you know? Like
Mhm.
I don't see Fox as like the leader. I don't see him as like the leader of the gang. I just see him as like he knows his job.
He makes decisions. Yeah.
Exactly. He knows his job is to like make the calls when people are like, "What do we do?" He's the one who goes, "All right, we'll do this then. Whatever."
so the rest of our jobs to go. That's dumb. What are the extra things that we have to do to make sure that it doesn't blow up in our faces afterwards?
Yeah, but like
Or not that it's not dumb, or that not that it's dumb, but more like, okay, yes, but have you also thought about?
yeah, see, but Fox
You're like, hey,
recognizes
what
like
if we solve the problem? And
Yeah.
they're like, this is okay, but how?
yeah, see, but Fox recognizes that's like that's not his job. Like sure there are certain
Yeah.
things like when it's a field he knows, he can be like, "All right, no. I got this. This is how we deal with this." Like like with the whole like with the raid on like like the fact the facility in New
Mhm.
Mexico, Fox is like, "All right, no. I've spent some time studying some basic tactics. Like I think this is how we could do this, you know." But like for other stuff, he recognizes like I don't need to be the plan guy. Sometimes all we need for a good plan is some feigned confidence. Like
Mm.
all we need to make a good plan if we're like stuck on a decision is just to have one guy go, "Okay, this one then. We're doing that."
And
And
if it
then-
goes well, then it goes well. If it fucks up, then it fucks up.
And it often helps because, as we often see in sessions, like sometimes that decision makes people rally around. Like, all right, assuming we do that, this is how we should do it, and that ends up becoming like our plan. You know,
Mhm.
like Fox recognizes that that's all he has to do is like to be that feigned confidence for a bit, is to decide like what can we reasonably do? What do I trust these guys to get done? Okay, let's do that plan.
No, I think
Gotta
it's
love
I think it's a smart way of doing a leader that is not necessarily in charge, which is also why I'm kind of excited about the idea of your character being a pirate captain in this future campaign. I'm calling it the Violet Sea because the gas giant planet this is all happening on is purple gases. So they still call it the sea. That's the only world these people have lived on.
We
but,
smoking
you know.
on purple.
And I also, especially with the concept of like real pirate ships, the captain was the captain, but like at any time that was not in the middle of combat, the crew could vote to say you're not the captain anymore. So the captain was generally just the person who was good at making decisions and charismatic enough to convince people to do it. That's the captain's actual skill set. And then, learning how to do ship battles, or at least how to direct ship battles. And I feel like that's kind of Fox's thing, and so this character is going to have at least a little bit of that in him.
Oh no, yeah,
Doesn't
no,
he's
no
going to do
doubt.
it a different way because it's a different situation, but
Oh yeah, I'm seeing them from like different standpoints of like where Fox is a confidence born of circumstance, where it's like,
Mhm.
listen, I was born in the fucking muck. Nothing has killed me so far, despite several things trying to. And so
Mhm.
I know I'm top dog because there has to be a reason I'm still alive. Like, it's almost that, like, very, very faint belief in something like fate, where it's like, look, I've seen too many people, good people, just like me, get gunned down. And, like, that hasn't happened to me yet, so I gotta be here for something, you know? But
Yeah, and I think it's a interesting way to look at it too.
whereas, like, this other character, I'm almost seeing them more as, like, it's the opposite, where it's like their feigned confidence is a literal feigned confidence, where it's like, no, I don't actually know what the fuck I'm doing at all, or have any idea how to command a ship or crew people or inspire people. I just know that like
Mhm.
people tend to rally around me, and I tend to be a source of like positivity, and like people tend to like think that like I am a person who makes good decisions. So as long as people still trust in me, I'll trust in myself. It's almost the inverse, where it's like Fox trusts himself,
Yeah.
and therefore because he's so self confident, people are like, okay, going with that guy. Whereas this character, I'm seeing more of the opposite, where it's like people all seem to trust me, so I trust myself, I guess.
More like
Yeah,
it's like the
sounds
kind
like
of
we
like
get it.
half the what is it that old Gurren Lagann quote, don't believe in yourself, believe in me who
Believe in the
believes
me
in
who
you.
believe. Exactly, you know, it's that
Yeah.
exactly. It's literally that, you know.
I do like that.
So that's been kind of like the way I've been conceptualizing this character. I haven't like really fleshed him out super duper far yet. But that's been where he's where my mindset's at for him.
Yeah, and honestly, the fleshing out of characters like this is gonna take a bit because the system is still kind of in development, as is the setting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. One of the campaigns I'm running, actually, the one I'll probably be starting the most soon, I guess, requires very little time for the actual character building. But I want to give my players a
Mhm.
lot of time to like develop the story and like the personality of their characters. You know.
Mhm.
Whoop. Hee
But I got that.
Ugh.
So,
Yeah.
also while we're here,
Mhm.
Michelle, we never really heard from you on like the Cyberpunk campaign. Were there any choices that you made as Lynx that you're like, oh yeah, that was like a thing that really influenced the rest of the story for her?
Huh. I feel like most of this stuff was kind of go with the flow, really. I don't
Fair.
know, like I guess really I mean a lot of the stuff had to do with like the AI things, right?
Hmm. I'll definitely say that was a part of the story I don't know I would have brought in the same way if there wasn't
Yeah.
someone actively like invested in it.
Yeah. Um I guess maybe it's more of like I guess Lynx's moral code. Like
Okay.
okay, so like it's a little like okay, cuz for me, right, like as a person, I don't really feel comfortable with things like, the giant kill switch that we've installed into the Arasaka folks um through the programming, right?
Yeah.
That's like not really something I personally am okay with, right? But like I guess
Hmm.
making the decision that Lynx is okay with this, right, but also has limits on it. For example, like sparing people for the sake of like interrogation,
Hmm.
right? Like there is an like I guess it might even be a worse fate, but it's still something like that weird like moral
Recoverable. Yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah.
weird moral quandary that I guess Lynx has. And like also that I guess like that same balancing of like I guess like adopting people and trying to like be a good person for them,
Hmm.
right? Like that's I feel like that's a decision that Lynx made that kind of like I guess influenced most of her actions for the rest. Besides like, being super techie and stuff, but
I
like
mean, and I will say, like, it's been very fun to balance that character against Fox, where it's like kind of seeing the places where like Fox doesn't have the same moral quandaries. Like, I'm really glad that there was a character who wanted to explore kind of like the whole like humanity of AI lens here, because like Fox isn't the kind of person who would think that much about that, you know? Like Fox sees people, even just like actual human people in a lot of ways, as just like ways to gain power, the tools, you know? Like
I
Hmm.
think it's like that's an interesting contrast where like, Fox is more of like the like no, this is a resource, right? I don't care what like, you know, it's like I might treat them well because it will make more resources later, right? But you're like you kind of like view it more in the numbers kind of way. That makes
The
more sense.
transactional
yeah,
sort
and
of.
it's kind of like, and even to a degree, like Fox doesn't want people treated horribly for no reason. And I think it's like,
Hmm.
as someone building a character where like we established early in that like your character did kind of raise mine, like it's been fun to kind of like piece out as I build Fox through the campaign, seeing the places where like his bits of humanity are heavily inspired by, I imagine, what he would have picked up or learned from Lynx. So the places where
Hmm.
Fox shows mercy, where he's a good person, I always, personally, as a player, I always imagine those as like things that like he would take from like watching Lynx and seeing the kind of person she is, you know?
Like I actually think it's kind of interesting that I feel like maybe like and then I probably didn't really think about like I didn't really think about this that much like during like while we're playing, but I in reflection it's like, well, like cuz Fox has a bit of a streak where like, you know, payback, right? Like equal payback, right? And I almost think that part of it's kind of been picked up where Lynx is like, you know, gone on a crusade against Arasaka, like equal payback for the loss of her brother, right? And like it's like, huh, did he pick that up from Lynx?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually it's one thing I've been thinking about, and it's not something I've like fleshed out too much, save like our brief in-character conversations around the subject, but like both of us were raised in South Night City, like we were raised together in that environment, and I feel like we're both sort of like mirror examples of that dichotomy where it's like, I imagine the way Fox is an example of the way people in that kind of muck of like the lower classes of Night City operate, where it's like give or take, no, like, you know, take or have taken from you. If someone does you wrong, you have to get back at them, not just because like it's about vengeance, but because it's about like sending the message of like nobody can fuck with me, like, and the idea of like nobody crosses me, trust nobody, only yourself, anyone will betray you, anyone will die at any moment, like, and like I feel like Fox and Lynx are almost kind of mirrors of that, where Fox is like someone who fell and almost like was entirely shaped by that mentality, where Lynx is someone who tried her hardest to almost, it still shaped her to a degree, but a lot of her better personas or better personal pieces are sort of her trying to rise above that and like not be that kind of person. And I think again it makes them a really fun, like they're really fun foils of each other, where like Fox will have moments where it's like nah, fuck this person, I want them dead, and Lynx is like, is that really worth it? And like Fox is like, look, no, like you know how we operate, like what do you mean? And like it's again, like it's been really fun to build a character with that with that in mind. Get fucked, by the way.
I think there's also something really good that you guys as players have done this really well. I've barely had to step in. That you guys are fine having tension and conflict as characters, but it doesn't derail the story, and it also doesn't really affect you guys in real life. Like definitely there's been some tense arguments between Fox and Lynx that I thought were like, damn, this is kind of heavy.
Oh god,
it
yeah.
worked out so well for us.
We have.
I fucking like, as a, again, like talking about those moments of like when you like try to like think of the moments like that are happening in session, like as a player separate, like as a character separate from as a player, like that was like you were saying earlier, like moments where you're like, as a player or as a character I'm angry, but as a player I love this. That argument last session was exactly that. Like, oh my god, that moment when you were like, if you don't want to talk to your daughter, fine, but like you won't keep me from seeing her. Like, as a player, I was like, damn, this is a really good argument. But like in character, I was like, dude, how fucking dare you? Like, like we resolved the argument, but like Fox was legitimately really fucking pissed in that moment. Like, dude, how fucking dare you say that? Like,
but yeah, but like that was actually like a, like I really enjoyed that one because also like Lynx is at the same time like kind of like, well, how dare you prevent me from seeing someone who's like important?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like it was a really
it's a legitimate argument. It's very good.
Yeah, it was a thing where it's like, it was kind of a thing where it's like, it's a fun argument where it's like, because I'm not invested in this argument as a person, I can separate myself from like being biased about it, and I can say like, no, even though I'm like still taking his side because I'm playing as him, like Fox is wrong here. Like I can recognize that Fox is wrong, and he does recognize that he's wrong to a degree, but he still thinks he made the right call and wants to make that clear. So the argument didn't become like, I need to be right. It became like, I need you to know why I did this. And that, and like, like player side, it made that moment much more like real for me, because it wasn't like an argument from like for me as a player, like player to player, me to you, Michelle. It wasn't an argument. It was like, here's literally me as a player having my character like through his own mouth bare his soul. I want you as a player to understand why I did the things I did. Like it's a moment of like connectivity through this argument almost, where it's like, sure, in the moment in character our characters are having tension and fighting, but player to player, I've never felt closer to you, you know?
Mm.
I think for me it's a little more difficult to separate like player versus like, the character, but at the same time like hearing like I think Lynx really needed to hear why, right? Like and like the thing is right, like it's not an argument that Lynx agrees with, right? But it is something that Lynx is like, well, I can understand why you think this, right? It's a very understandable and relatable argument is the thing, right? It's like, yeah, I don't agree with how you like. 'Cause I think, and it also plays into like the characters, right? Because I feel like Lynx is like thinking from it as from a point of view, it's like, look, this doesn't have to be forever, right? Like you don't have to do this forever. Like and it also comes from the same standpoint where I think like Lynx wants to hope that things will get better, that you don't have to that especially because like as a parent, Lynx is wanting to hope the best for her adopted children and grandchildren, right?
Of course,
this is the kind of hope that she wants, right? This is the things that she believes in. And it really contrasts a lot with like Fox's.
Yeah, like Fox is someone who does not have that same kind of hope at all. He's fully immersed himself again, like in that muck mentality. Like he's fully in again. He's in the trenches. Like that's his only mentality is like, I have to do what I have to do to get everything that I can to do what I can to make things better. If shit gets better, we'll figure it out once it's better. But until it's better, and like that's just like him being a consequence of like him being someone who's never really seen better until now. He's making more money, he's doing better for himself. Like he's never really done better for himself. So the idea of like hoping for better or planning for better, it's not something he's ever really conceptualized or thought about. So Lynx being like, oh well, what are you gonna do after all this? He's like, I don't fucking know. I'll figure that out afterwards. Like I gotta figure out this first, you know? But again, like it's this really interesting moment where like again, like in terms of like the arc we were going on, like I never saw the arc of like Lynx growing to see Fox as an adult be part of the story we would tell here. Like the idea of like you being this like mother hen figure over me, like I just thought that would just like kind of like be our dynamic, and I was totally fine with that because we talked about it and established that, and like it's been fun to play. But over the last few sessions, having those moments where Lynx is like, listen, you're an adult now, I'm trusting you, or even like for the art, like, and even like to culminate that in the argument, like, and this is where I'll get a bit personal here, to have that moment like mother to son where it's like we're disagreeing, and like normally when you argue with your parent, it feels like you're struggling to get them to see your side. You're right.
Yeah.
You're like, no, like I know I'm right here, and I need you to see that. Like, but as an adult, when you start disagreeing with your parents, it becomes less of that and more of like, hey, we might disagree, but let's at least like hear each other out. So to have that argument where it's like in the moment Fox is so angry and so heated, and like for him it feels like another like moment where like your mother is chiding you and you're trying to get her to see your side, but then for it to kind of come around and her say like, listen, I don't agree with you, I don't think you made the right call, I think you're wrong, but I respect your choice and I understand why you did it. Like that's like that moment for him of like, oh fuck, my mom sees me as an adult, oh fuck, like that's like that was a moment I didn't think we would have in this campaign, you know? And
I didn't even think about that either, but it was something
like,
that
yeah,
kind of
exactly. Like we never talked about that at all. Like we never had that combo like player to player. It just kind of evolved naturally through the story we were telling, you know? Like, and again, I think part of that came from like the choices that were made, like Fox making these really broad, like giant political sweeping moves, and like Lynx having to make these more like trusting and like having to open up more to like, you know, to the rest of the gang. Like those moments and those character choices led to those sort of like dynamic shifts naturally happening. Hi, Tinker. So yeah, I feel like it was really, really fun to just like, again, like we didn't have to talk about that player to player, because like once we were in the moment, once we were in character, those scenes just played out naturally, you know. And it like again, like because like we have a really good table dynamic where everyone feels comfortable opening up and like playing off of anybody, you know. No one's ever afraid to let anyone have a scene or to jump in and help someone play off of a scene. Like we can have those moments where it's like character dynamics advance, because when someone takes a moment where it says, "Hey, look, I want to seriously move our character dynamic in a direction," it's not just a move past thing. The other player
Mhm.
recognizes, and with no words, no conversation, recognizes and immediately holds that. Like, and again, I'll even move a step outside of the people here. He's not here right now in chat because he's away for with his sister. But Dan, like a couple sessions ago, when Fox sat down and said, like, listen, dude, you know how I get down. I'll betray any fucking body I think I have to. But I'm letting you know right now that there are a couple people that I trust with my life, and I'm making you one of those people. We didn't discuss that, but like that moment beforehand, I never. I think all I said was like, "Hey, at some point, I want Fox and Doc to have a conversation," and that was it. And Dan was like, "Yeah, sure, okay, cool."
Mhm.
We never said about what, but in that moment, for Doc to not just be like, "Okay, sure, whatever, dude," but for him to be like, "Okay, like I understand that, I respect that, and I honor that," for us to have that moment, you know, and then again, for that to follow,
Exactly.
for that to be followed up with immediately afterwards, the moment where Doc reunites with his family, and rather than me making that like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep myself in the scene," me saying like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm gonna play this scene now. I'm gonna share.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share in this shock and awe that Doc is feeling. I'm gonna share in that emotion with him, and then I'm gonna leave him to have this scene. Like we
Mhm.
could do that dynamically and naturally as a player group without any need for like extra communication, because we all have this like really open like bond of trust as friends.
Yeah, and I very much trusted you guys to handle that. I'm like, actually, it's more entertaining if Doc gets surprised with someone with him.
Yeah,
'Cause originally
like,
it was just going to be they were going to call him, and I'm like, nah, this is better
hey, listen,
because I can trust you guys to play that real, I should say. It's like kind of the term I'd use.
yeah, and even like to again shout out people who aren't here, even though he wasn't here for all the campaign. Joe, this campaign is Joe's first exercise in like TTRPGs, minus like a one shot or two,
That's
and like
so good though.
yeah, he's grown so much as a role player. And again, like for us to build a dynamic where it's like Dion is kind of Fox's right hand man, like his muscle almost, where it's like, hey, listen, like nothing for nothing, like you're my guy, like we ride or die together, you know, like kind of like that best friend
Mhm.
dynamic. Like we built again, we never really
Mhm.
talked about that. That just kind of happened organically at the table, you know? Like
Yeah.
and yeah, and like that part of and like part of that just comes from like playing TTRPGs with your friends, with people you like. Like I mean, like if I'll make it personal about three people, like the three people who are still in the campaign, like Tate, obviously I don't know how well you know this, but Dan, Michelle, and I have been friends for almost a decade now.
I was
Yeah.
kind of aware.
2014.
Yeah,
So like it's at least 7 years.
Wait, 14? What is
No, not 2014. 'Cause that's
2012.
when I graduated. So 2012.
Yeah,
2 years after. So
2012.
that's 9 years.
So yeah, it'll be a decade
Almost
next
a
year.
decade,
Next
actually. Holy shit.
next summer we will have been friends for a decade, you know? So
Huh.
like we are like again like and like not even like we haven't like while we have like dabbled at and like, you know, dipped into TTRPG like campaigns here or there, and like it's fallen apart for different reasons. We've never like
Mhm.
tabletop gaming has never been like a huge part of our friend dynamic. It's been a thing we've done that here or there, but like this is kind of like the first large campaign we've done as a friend group together. This and Seven Sons, obviously, but for us to all be a player group here, like it just goes to show that like having really good friends, people you trust and know and understand, who are you're just like you're comfortable with outside of the table, it makes the
Yeah.
moments at the table really natural and really easy, because you have such a like a respect and love and care for the people behind the characters, that love transfers into them, even if the characters don't have the same like love between them originally. Like Fox and Doc weren't the best of friends at the top at the you know at the top of the campaign. Hell, I even wager that like up to and including that moment between them with last session, they weren't the closest of friends. But I love and care for Dan as one of my best friends. So when that moment happens in game where he gets to like share in that lovely character moment of like getting his family back, I want my friend to be happy. I want my friend to have that character moment. So I as a player, as a character, I'm not going to take away from that, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
It-
To sum up this stupid long rant, play tabletop games with your friends, okay? Just
Yeah.
find your best friends and play tabletop games with them. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, fucking say other
Yeah,
things.
I get what you're saying. Just maybe shorter is just, hey, if everyone at the table is here for the same thing, and that thing is to tell a good story, not necessarily be the coolest dude or do the most damage, but just tell a good story, things flow better like that.
Yeah.
If everyone's real about it and friendly about it, I think that's ideal. 'Cause yeah, you guys brought me into this, or asked me to help with this, and I volunteered to run this game that I'd never played before. Because I played like a one shot with you once, Chris. I don't know, it was weird. It was interesting. It was fun, and I've really enjoyed just the dynamic I'm getting out of all the tables that we're playing at.
Yeah, like you're a really fun dude, and I'm super glad to have met you. And like,
Ah,
again, like to shout you out, like between this and Seven Sons and like all of our other tables, the Naruto one shot, like you've seamlessly
Mhm.
integrated really, really well into our friend group. Like it feels like I've been friends with you for a while, dude. You know, like
mm-hmm.
I mean that sincerely. Like I'm not just saying that like in the moment. I mean that sincerely. Like it feels like I've been friends with you for a while, and so like I don't feel again like for someone who I've shared similar moments at a table. Like again to shout out a dynamic that we built very organically without having to talk a whole lot about it behind the table. Sei and Shoji have a very, very organic dynamic that we built kind of just like
It is so good though.
yeah, and
actually.
I
We just made a better Naruto and Sasuke.
literally,
just straight up.
literally, we made a better Naruto and Sasuke friendship just by virtue of being good friends and building characters that we cared about and wanted to hold the same story weight together. Like,
Mhm.
again, it just serves my point of like, if everyone is there for the same thing, which is like, tell a good
Yeah.
story, hold everyone's story up, and make sure that everyone is heard, make sure that everyone's represented, you end up building a really great table dynamic. And I'll say this as someone who, I'll admit, I have failed on that in some places. There are tables I have been at, tables I have concluded where I'll say in hindsight where I'm like, damn, I was not the best player here. I prioritized my own story too much. And that's a thing that I want to make sure that I'm always being better at. So nothing for nothing, just like people who are watching this live, VOD, whatever, I don't fucking care. Just like, if you play tabletop games, like, when you're at your table, just take the moments to ask yourself, like, and like, look at the other stories that are being told there and invest yourself in them. You will find really, really great moments, not just for their characters, but for your own, just by virtue of like indulging in other people's stories. You'll find similarities, places your characters align, places your characters agree and disagree, and you'll make so much better stories for it. I don't know. That's all I want to say about that, I guess.
Mm,
You mean,
It's like, yeah. I mean, there's a thing for, and like, I guess this is something like me as a player. I generally tend to not be as invested in my own character storylines than others, and like it does, and I think it's something that helps. But also, there's a fine line to walk between like, caring more about other people's storylines and letting them shine, and also like you also need to know that like it's okay to let your own characters have their moments too,
yes,
right? Like
absolutely. Like, yeah, that's super.
if the
Yeah.
opportunity presents itself to like, talk, right? Like have a conversation with your fellow players, right? Like you should, like if it's what like, makes you comfortable, or even like step out of your comfort zone, I think is something that's important, right? Like I am not a super social person. Like I will tell it, like you can tell from the fact that I don't have social media, right? Like, but like,
Don't pursue
No,
her,
it's
she's
because
not
you're a
real.
great net
She's
runner
a great
that
air runner.
doesn't want to be found by the government.
Best joke.
Clearly.
Tinker, please.
but like taking the step to, have conversations to do those talks even when you like kind of don't want to, right? Like, but like you feel like you should, right? Do those, right? They're important to have, and I think those are the moments that really make your character shine, right? Like those are the points where like you have where you have the opportunity where you can really like bring not only your story in, but like share it with other people, because it's not
definitely.
something.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that entirely. I feel like that's one thing that like is really fun about like playing with you, like player side and GM side, is it's really fun to like pitch things at you and see how you interact with them. Like, because you're and I'm gonna say this like publicly and openly. You're a really, really good role player. Like you.
I don't know. Half
No.
the time you pitch something at me and I'm like,
No.
what, dude?
But that's the thing is that like,
Excuse.
well, one, and it's part of its consequence of like the characters you build play those moments out really well, even if their reaction is just like like you build characters who have reactions like that, so it makes it feel very organic. But like, again, if I'll shout you out for a direct example, like I literally pitched like a teenage love dynamic at you for the Naruto one shot, and you were just like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, and I knew for a fact, like even when I said it, I was like, if you're comfortable doing that, I know it's not like something that's in your comfort zone at all, because like. Not only am I asking you to role play, I'm asking you to role play. Like,
Sir Heck had to explain how a date worked.
Yes,
So...
but like,
the best behind the scene moment.
Yeah, it was
of
awesome.
my life.
It was
just being
so
like, this
funny.
is a date, Michelle. You were so willing to role play this out that you just rolled with something, even though you didn't completely get the concept. And I think that's part of what makes you good at that. Is like, yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, like that's
throwing yourself into the abyss.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get at. It's just like you're really good at just being like, okay, let's do it. Like let's figure it out. You know, like the Sei and Yuri dynamic is again probably one of my favorite like inter-character dynamics I've built like with a character that I have, and like to the point where like again I really want to explore it further in like the Naruto campaign and like talk more about it. Like it's and like so, but that's like again to shout you as a person. Like you just like you're super willing to just like take those moments and just be like, all right, like this is what we're doing. Cool, let's go for it. Whatever. Like you know.
Just don't ask me to choose between like two things.
Oh, I mean,
things,
yeah. Like, listen, choice paralysis is a thing that I think a lot of players deal with and suffer through, but it's very very fun.
Which, by the way, if you guys ever need help with choice paralysis, more people helps because I have definitely had plenty of times where like I don't know. Well, I'm playing a wizard, so I have like 50 bajillion spells to like pick from, and then I just like sit with like these guys and go like, okay, I like these spells. What makes most sense in character? Please help.
It's always fun. I think we're at a pretty good spot where we can start bringing this to a close. It's just hitting 6, so we're at the 3-hour mark. So we'll start wrapping this up. Again, we'll do our announcements towards the end. So let's do a real quick, just go around the horn one more time and say who we are, who we've been, and what we've been hanging, what we've been doing. And we'll start with we'll get to Michelle, then Tate, then I'll bring us home.
All right. I'm Michelle. I don't as mentioned previously, I don't social media. You can find me, but you can find me here again Saturday for our Seven Sons. Maybe in 2 weeks, probably in 3 weeks, for another A Blade's Will. This time, the Coalition of Steel.
Coalition of Steel.
Yes, those guys. And yeah, and then Sunday for our Cyberpunk finale.
Yeah.
Be excited. Be very excited. Also be very nervous. Or at least I'm going to be very nervous because
I'm always nervous. That's my secret, Captain. Go ahead, Tate.
mean, fair though.
It's a very dangerous system. Hi, my name's Tate Washburn. You can find me at kinda_writing, where I mostly talk about tabletop design, storytelling, and mostly just a bunch of memes and politics and bullshit, because that's where my stuff goes. You should really actually follow this channel's Twitter, because that's where we announce cool things that you actually want to know about.
It's on the overlay down there at the bottom.
Campaigns are happening. Yep, it's right on the overlay. Definitely go to Neon Lights Our Play. It is great. And yeah, I'll be in Seven Sons this Saturday, and I will be running the finale to Neon Night City Lights. And from there, if y'all want to be in upcoming campaigns, now is the time to get on our Discord, because that's where you can apply as a player, and then maybe you can yourself be a pirate captain who plays an unimaginable amount of pirate puss.
We can be rival. we can be rival pirate captains who slay an unimaginable amount of pirate puss, and then we'll fall in love, and it'll be great. I'm here for it.
It'll be perfect.
Sure.
No, for real though. This is So
I'm there.
Yeah, for real. So I'll just you know who I am. It's Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite fox. If you're looking for me, I'm on the internet Twitter sphere at Big Foxy. It's BIG_FOXXII. I have a dog on my shoulder now who's very happy to see me. Hi, Tinker. Otherwise, the next time you'll see me is actually tomorrow over on Critical Misses for another episode of Forest and Flame. We missed last Wednesday because I was sick and tech went down, but we're back to be wholesome, so come hang out for that on Monday. And then I'll be on break for a bit for the week, as there's not really much going on for me for that week. I'll be back, not Friday, but Saturday, October 1st, for the first of the TPK Halloween one-shots. TPK Roleplay's running a whole bunch of Halloween one-shots. The first will be GM by Meg Mysteria. I can't give many details, but it'll be fun. We playing ghosts. It's gonna be fun.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Yeah, well, you're gonna be afraid of
Ghosty
me.
ghosts.
I'm a scary ghost.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's gonna be happening. So you'll see me for that on October 1st. And then, so next Saturday I won't be around for a Seven Sons because that's not a thing that's happening next Saturday. Oh wait, hold on, it is actually. You're right. Huh.
Hmm?
There is seven.
Hmm?
Wait. Yeah, there is Seven Sons next Saturday. Huh.
Yep.
Huh.
Yes.
Hmm.
There's Seven Sons next Saturday.
I think I have to. So wait, is the first a Friday? I was okay. I'm good. Sorry, I'm good. Sorry for holding stream up. I'm good. So Friday, October 1st, you'll see me on TPK roleplay for Memento Mori. That's a Friday. That's
Oh, Memento Mori.
yes, that's what it's called. Saturday, the day after that. Oh my god, I'm back. I'm triple heading again. Saturday, I'm here for Seven Sons,
Yeah.
which I'm GMing, and then Sunday, I'm right back here again for the finale of Neon Night City Lights.
Grinding, working,
The
delivering
grind never
every
stops.
day.
I'm on that Sigma male grind set, 80-hour work weeks.
Oh no!
I never
Didn't
sleep.
we
Yeah.
already have a conversation about this?
Yes, it's a horrible idea. In any case, the point being, other than that, like I said, this is a prime time to hang out on our Discord. We have at least 4 new campaigns coming up soon by the end of the year, with at least our 2 active running ones in the Naruto one-shots still running. But I will say at least 2 of the campaigns, the 2 that I'm running, both only have 1 player slot left. So seats are going. So join the Discord, put in that player app, have a quick meeting with me so I can find out how kind of a cool person you are, and then come hang out with us more. Otherwise, stay tuned. Follow our socials for more streams. Let's see. I am literally not logged into the Twitch at all, so I'm going to do that super fast so we can find out who to raid. But otherwise, while we figure that out, just going to say, it's October. September's coming to an end. 2021 has been, as I fix the pause that we're experiencing, 2021 has been a year of ups and downs, in and outs for a lot of us. But as we round the corner of the last few months, I hope that you are all taking the time to take care of yourselves, each other, and the people around you, even if you don't know them. Having said that, our dear friend of the show, Ashen Rabbit, will be streaming very soon some Gas Station Simulator. We love Ash very much, so we're going to go throw a raid over to Ashen Rabbit, over on twitch.tv/Ashen_Rabbit. Slide Ash some love, ask her how her day's been going, tell her we're thinking about her a lot and we care about her. And thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. We'll see you around.
See y'all later.
Be safe. And goodbye!